Hello. Hello, everybody. Anybody? We'll wait and see if some people show up here. Give it a minute. Oh, okay. It looks like we do have a couple people in. Yeah, welcome, everybody. I wanted to play the press conference. Hopefully, we'll find out some information. There's been quite a bit coming out about this, but maybe we can just get it, confirmed today, hopefully. And I wanted to say everything I found said that it's going to be at 3:00, but it says to watch it on YouTube. When I have that pulled up here, it says 4:00. So I'm not quite sure. I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we will see it. Well, we'll see it, but we may take longer than we expected it to. Right, that's what I have too. But when I pull up where it says it's going to play, it says 4:00. I couldn't find anywhere that didn't say 3, though. So it's really strange. I'll share this with you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See here? Where it says 4:00, everything else says 3. Hello, Jesse. Hello, Jennifer, too, by the way. Sorry about that. So I'm not sure what to think about that. I don't want to miss it. We're all doing great over here. I got all my housework done, and Mr. Snotty did all the grocery shopping for Thanksgiving dinner. It says 3, but then on the thing it says 4:00. So I can't figure out what is going on with this. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going over there, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, yay for Thanksgiving dinner is all bought, so now it just has to be cooked. Which he will help me do that also. Well, that doesn't make sense though, because we're the same time right now as Idaho, here in Arizona. I checked specifically. So in about an hour. Well, that just really is stupid. Did you guys see the screen when I pulled it up? Were you able to see what it said there? So it's 3:49 there. We saw it. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not making it up. Okay, well, I apologize everybody for that because I just want to make sure we didn't miss it. I do have a video of Dr. Baden speaking with Fox. If everybody wants to watch that, I love to hear from him. Yeah, I don't. I looked up what time it was in Idaho, and it was the same time as we are here in Arizona. Arizona's really has its own time zone. It's very weird. So I just assumed that I do too. I really love to hear what he thinks about everything. It's always very interesting. All right, so I will put that on. Do they really? Oh my gosh. Okay. That's where I screwed up then. Okay. I really thought it was Ohio that had two different time zones. Wow. Okay, well then I guess that's where I screwed everything up. I apologize. I just went to Google and said, what time is it in Idaho right now? And it told me the same time as it was here. Okay. So I apologize. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, I'll play this interview from um, Dr. Baden. Let me see. Okay, let me see.
They're showing us that there's so much evidence that it's going to take a lot of time to process it all. This wasn't like a pinpoint crime. This person was sloppy. He did whatever. When I say he, obviously you can't say that. That's just me. But he made a mess, and there's a mess there, and they're going to have to go through that point by point, and that's going to take a lot of time. That's why they reached out to other facilities to help them with that lab work.
That is the heartbroken father describing the long process of analyzing evidence left at his daughter's murder scene. Investigators are still on the hunt for the suspect behind the slaying of 4 college students in Idaho. Joining us now is Fox News contributor and forensic pathologist, Dr. Michael Baden, and he joins us now. Doctor, it's so great to have you. Can't think of anyone better to help us look at what is happening here. What, in your professional opinion, do you think is the most important evidence when they collect everything from the murder scene?
Well, the murder scene and from the body, because if there was a struggle, there are defensive wounds and any scratch marks, all of the fingernails of the 4 victims would be examined, these fingernail scrapings, to see if there's any DNA from the perpetrator, which can occur during a struggle. There may be, we don't know yet if they figured out if the person was wearing gloves, because even if if there's no gloves, their bloody fingerprints would be around, especially on doorknobs and doors. Even if you presumably wore gloves, one can get certain information from the bloody glove impressions, if only on doorknobs. Commonly, they can get that. The bloody shoe prints, with all the blood at the scene, whoever did this, one or two or more people, would have a hard time not stepping in the blood and tracking blood around. Will not only help identify the type of footwear, which the FBI has a huge file on, but also the size of the individual. There also might be, and they'll look for, and this is the hardest thing with all the blood, to see if there's some blood there that conceivably could come from the perpetrator, such as drops of blood if he was a scratch mark caused bleeding, or if the knife accidentally cut him, because blood is so slippery that knives slip in the hands of a perpetrator. So a lot of this will be done very quickly, though. There's a lot of stuff, but in different parts. One thing I'm concerned about are the tire marks. That should have been done right away, because the passage of time, weather conditions, other vehicles coming in and out, such as ambulances and medical examiner, coroner vehicles, will obliterate or just change tire marks if they aren't protected immediately. There's no evidence that that was done, but just the rain or snow or can distort those tire marks. So doing it a week later is a little late.
Yeah, there were other mistakes made, like the combining of trash from a neighboring house to this house, all concerning. Yeah. Really quick, how long does it take to process the DNA? You heard the father, obviously he wants answers right away, which is, obviously understandable.
Yeah, everybody wants answers right away. I think we'll get a lot more information today when they have the police conference.
But doctor, specifically, how long does it take to process DNA, blood evidence, for example?
Well, once it's collected, it can be done within the 24, 48 hours, as would happen here, because the FBI facilities are pinpointed here. So the actual process can be done in 48 hours. If they got fingernail scrapings, that'll be done very quickly. It's finding the evidence, so looking at all of the blood at the scene and seeing if there's anything there that might have come from a different person.
Can I get a quick yes or no from you, based on what you know about the way these kids were murdered? Do you believe that this is a crime of passion? In other words, do you believe that one of them at least knows the killer?
Yes, I think this was a targeted killing. I think crime of passion would be reasonable for whatever reason. It wasn't robbery, it wasn't rape,
right.
And the other two people who didn't hear anything weren't attacked, and they may have been far away enough from the house. It's a big house that they sleeping. They didn't hear anything that went on during the stabbing. And the people that were attacked could be collateral damage, because they may have seen the perpetrator.
Sure.
And he reacted to that.
All right. Dr. Baden, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your expertise.
So I always like to hear his opinion about everything. I think he's awesome. And we've all been saying the same thing. Hopefully there's something under fingernails or that kind of thing. I am concerned that they didn't start collecting evidence. It doesn't seem like they did. A lot of times these smaller towns, they're not used to this or something, but I do know, we did hear that, God, You know how terrifying that was? And just, you know, when the coroner was talking the other day about, they were like, well, were there just puncture wounds or like slashes? And she was like, well, it was a big knife, kind of like just the punctures made slashes, I think. I did hear yesterday on somebody's channel that the girls said they heard something and some kind of ruffling around, so they just locked their bedroom door and went to sleep. They didn't think it was, they kind of thought people were just had, you know, people over and stuff. They didn't think it was that bad. And then also, what did we hear that two of the girls, oh, do you see them? They have the sex bots. Okay, I got rid of them. They two of the girls had texted several times to somebody named Jack. They weren't sure. There was a neighbor named Jack, and one of Kaylee's ex-boyfriend was named Jack. So I think that is who came over looking to see what was going on, because he couldn't get a hold of her after having missed the text messages. No, you're right. He didn't say anything necessarily that we don't already haven't already thought about. They were calling. That's right, calling him. Yes. Yep. The food truck guy. Yeah, that's what I felt like. It must be the ex-boyfriend they were trying to get a hold of. But how sad that they must have been trying to call him to tell him. I mean, they got home right around 2, right? And they said that this happened between 3 and 4. They also said the 911 call was not made by either of the roommates, but their phone was used. Right. Yeah, that I kind of feel like the Ethan had Venmoed that guy, and I feel like maybe that was the neighbor. Maybe he just kind of drove him around like a Uber style, but just, you know, on his own. Yeah, that was weird. And the couple, they were back home at like 9 o'clock, from what I've heard. I've just heard these things listening to different people. I didn't want to. Obviously, I don't have facts. No, exactly. Can you imagine? He has to. They had to have tried to call him for that. Oh, I can't even imagine living with that the rest of your life now. Yeah, from the Venmo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that, I think that probably was the neighbor, because he did act like he was hanging around waiting. And the girls, they said the girls did get a ride home. So I feel like maybe that guy just kind of drove people around for extra money or something. I don't know. I sure hope we find out something today, because I just really, the longer this goes, yeah, I can't get my head around it either. Somebody had to have been so angry and so evil. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I felt very strange. Did you guys hear Plunder talking about, I guess it was on her TikTok, where she had the guy in the video, the heavier set guy. He started commenting on Plunder's TikTok, I believe she said it was, and talking about, he said he called the police and said, you know, I'm on the video if you want to talk to me. And they didn't get back to him. He had to go down there. What the hell? Oh, okay. S&D. I didn't know that. Oh. Oh my God. Stop. There is not. I knew there was a Jake and a 2 Jacks. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know about. So it is not the neighbor. Good God. Well, the food truck Jack is the neighbor, I think. Hey, Rosendo. Yeah, I didn't know there were that many Jacks. I knew of 2. Wow. Oh, also, yeah, then Maddie's boyfriend, right? Yeah, that's another one. I did know about that one also. But he wasn't involved as far as like, he wasn't at the food truck, or he wasn't. He wasn't the. He's not the one they called, right? Yeah, there are an awful lot of Jacks there. And I don't feel like it's really that common of a name. Of course, that's my baby's name, but yeah, it's just really, oh God, it's terrible. I can't stand the thought of any of this. To me, I don't think, it doesn't seem like a serial killer situation for me. One kicked recently. Yeah, I know. That's wild. Yeah, you know, and that is see, that's pretty bad. After 48 hours, I mean, that person could be gone. And you can't think a lot about just who takes off, because right now everybody there is afraid. People are taking off. Big time. Those kids are. So it doesn't gonna look weird for somebody to leave. Yeah, I don't know how they kept track of all their Jacks. Yeah, the food truck guy, they say, is not right now. He's not a person of interest. Neither is, you know, I'm sure those girls are absolutely a mess. I cannot imagine. Those roommates have to be a total mess right now. They're not being looked at. It was strange to hear that they had heard something and locked their door, but I mean, you know, I think because, you know, you wonder why they didn't call 911 then, but I think they really just thought they heard company. And, you know, I don't know, in a big house like that with different roommates and people coming and going, you probably would lock your door just because, you know, I don't want some stranger to just go ahead and walk in here. Because they obviously weren't awake at noon whenever. Ugh. Yeah, I think he's very bizarre. Yeah, they can be lying, and they, you know, sometimes they have to, whatever. You're right. They very well could be lying about that. They need to have some kind of answers, though. They have got to have some persons of interest at this point. It's been a while, really. Right. There's got to be lots of videos. Yeah, I can only imagine what's on these videos. Yeah, he had me creeped out the whole time too. I guess I don't know though. I'm thinking I don't know if he looked big enough, this has got to be a super strong person. Yeah, yeah, they need to sometimes. We don't, we don't always have to know everything as much as I want to know everything right now. Always. I'm telling you, Top Hats and I talked the other night about, can you imagine if they come out saying this was not a homicide? I mean, that obviously that's ridiculous, but that's what I feel like's been happening lately with Debbie Collier and Kylie Rodney. All these, they're not homicides. It's like, and they did say the same thing about Debbie Collier right from the very beginning, that it was targeted and personal, just like they're saying here. And then you turn around and say she burned herself, Yeah, Jesse Lynn, I think that's what I believe he probably did too. I bet he went into the room and he probably fought him because they said that Ethan was on the floor. Everybody else was in bed. Yeah, Debbie Collier. I'm having a really hard time believing that she did that to herself. Women don't do that. They don't. I mean, she was naked and burned her stomach and that doesn't make any sense. I don't want to hear any more accidental things like this. I don't. This one, they're not going to be able to pull that off on this one for damn sure. Yeah, I think right now most of the information is just coming from the families. Right, right. So wild. And I don't know, I feel even just weird about that video of her in the Dollar General. Everything about it is really weird. But so maybe accidentally, right? Okay, so you could believe that she might have accidentally caught herself on fire. I don't think she intentionally caught herself on fire at all. I cannot imagine that. I mean, that's even a weird way to kill someone. Right. Right. Yeah, that whole thing is just really super weird. Oh yeah, I follow Delphi, have forever. Yeah, maybe it was, yeah, something very bizarre. I mean, I can't imagine why she went there. Yeah, it is definitely weird. I hope that after it goes from intentional target to suicide. Right. Right. I know. Yeah, I hope so too. It's just the location, everything. Like there was just none of it makes any sense. She was dressed, ready to go to a game. I mean, she did buy really bizarre things, but she left there and went to Chick-fil-A. Oh, on the Delphi, they're going to do, there's a hearing on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm curious to find out more about that. Can you imagine? That guy was right there in town all this time. And, you know, developing pictures of Abby and Libby. Yeah, I could almost I mean, I think if she is the reason that if she burned herself, it was an accident. I do not believe for a second she intentionally burned herself. I just don't know where the spot was she was at. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. That's good, because whenever they gave the press conference when he was arrested, they didn't say anything. Right? I don't know if I understand. Oh, these kids here, the ones in Idaho, I know. The fact is, you know what? They were all really pretty. And, you know, weirdos have a problem with good looking people. Hey, Dizzle, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while. I've been listening to Justin a lot with the Michael Vaughn case, and I feel like I don't even want to talk about that case because I'm so annoyed with all the creator horseshit that's going on again. Good God, can people stop that? So annoying. Basil said she called somebody a bitch the other day over all that. Yep, there is. Yes. I got it wrong. It's at 4. I thought it was at 3. It says 3, and I thought I got the time zones messed up. Oh my gosh. I didn't know. I haven't heard anything about you. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I didn't know about all that. I thought it was funny yesterday. Queen Bee commented on somebody's, I think, Cinema Shogun's video. And so I replied to her comment and said, thanks for Snot Rocket. I'm going to use it. You're in the same boat, Lips. Why? Well, I don't understand. Oh my God, I don't get it. About what? What the hell? Oh my God. Are you serious? Oh my God. Well, I guess you are. I'm sorry. Wow. Like who? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's not my business. Yeah, because I used to see you all the time modding for people. Wow. I'm very sorry to hear that. Yeah, this is nuts. Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's best. I just, oh my God. Yeah, I saw some. I don't get too deep into all that, but I know when I saw that Amber and what is her name now? All of a sudden, I can't think. House of Williams got into it. I was like, wow, I'm this shit does get crazy. Yeah, it's exactly right. No, I don't like all this. You have information about Summer. Wow. Yeah. Didn't you see? Didn't you think that was weird whenever they were fussing, her and Amber? I don't even know what it's about because I said I'm just walking away from that. Yeah, we're pretty chill over here. Wow. Well, like what? I love to know about Summer. I would love. Oh my God, that poor child. And I just want to see those people go to jail, just like the ones in Savannah. Candace and Dawn need to go to jail. Even if because they're stupid and gross. Yeah, I did not know all this crazy stuff. Oh, okay. I will. Oh, I bet. Can we put your channel? How do I get your channel? Oh wow. What is your channel name? Can you put a link in here? Yeah, I didn't know you did either. Yeah, I would like to check that out for sure. I mean, I don't have a lot of people in here, but I would love to go check it out for sure. Yeah, there's some crazy people out there. I didn't know about all this stuff. Did you see that? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's doing it. Right? I get what does Molly always say? All these haters just send a bunch of people to her. Wow. Yeah, when I hear him saying things about Justin, I'm like, he's like so patient and wait, what? Oh, you did do it. Okay. Oh, if You click on her channel. Okay. Oh, that's sweet. That's nice. Well, good. So, oh, he's blaming some other. Really? So, is he drinking again now and going online and acting a fool yet? I know he hadn't initially, but when he first got out. That's cool that you're talking to someone on there, over there. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Don and Candace have not come out with some nonsense. Yeah, these kids can't just keep this can't just keep happening. People have got to be start being held accountable for these kids. Where is Quentin? Where is Summer? That this is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Oh my god. You know what? On one of Molly's videos, he thought he had gone off panel and started hitting her. They're a damn mess. Oh, see, well, I kind of do think that the possibility of them selling her is there. I feel like that's possible. Yeah, that's exactly right. That was absolutely nuts. I couldn't believe I was watching it. Yeah, these people are something else. And then, it's like you just are, all these garbage people are just being brought out into, and then people are acting like they have something to say. I don't really want to hear shit that he says. Other than where's that child? Oh, okay. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Right. Right. Yeah, and like Justin said, he thinks that they'll end up selling that property. And I'm not sure why Utah, if because this guy Jared Lasik is being indicted because they said Utah doesn't have a statute of limitations on the sex crimes. So why are they not arresting Don Wells in Utah for his bull crap? Yeah, well, that's just it. They're too stupid to have done anything to really get rid of her, I guess. I don't know. All these people are stupid, so I don't know how they're covering their tracks as well as they are. I don't think they are covering their tracks. It's the cops. It's the cops in that area. I hope she's alive. I hope she's not going through too much. Poor baby girl. Oh, I bet there is some crazy story over there on that dam. That property's got some secrets. There's some wild shit over there. I'm sure of that. And I would love to know all about that. Did Farizzle leave? I think she did. Oh, yeah. And that sheriff is full of shit, too. You're leaving, Jesse? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're afraid you're going to smoke too much. So am I. We're bad for each other on this. Yeah, that whole area has got some back hills, crazy shit going on. You notice I light a cigarette. Thanks, Jesse. Oh, all the craziness is about the land. Wow. Well, because you got to wonder how these kind of crazy ass people even have land. I mean, they're not smart enough to pour piss out of a boot. Thank you. So I don't know how they manage. I can't see how they would manage to have gotten rid of her and no one be able to find her. But I know damn well that Candace wasn't planting flowers. That didn't happen. Hey, stop. Oh, wow. I didn't know anything about that. I thought it was strange they had anything, quite honestly. But I think it was inherited to them or him. Wow. Oh, wow. I bet. Oh, God. Okay. And Candace and Grandis left since he's been in jail, right? But I feel like they're back. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I see that. Wow. That's crazy. Candace isn't smart enough to do anything either, even if she could. Mm-hmm. Thanks. Yeah, I figured she would be back. I think it's funny that Grandis took right the hell off too. Right after Summer disappeared. I think it's chilly everywhere right now. Yeah, you probably know a whole lot more about some twisted up people than you ever. Oh my God. Oh my God. 2 foot is wow. I know Buffalo is getting pounded. I don't know what degrees it is here, but what's the temperature here, Mr. Snotty? You know? It's 75. I'm a little bit chilly. Next week we'll be in northern Arizona. It's going to be cold there. It's going to be really, really cold. I'll be doing Friday Night Fun from our cabin in northern Arizona this Friday, next Friday, this coming Friday. Yeah, whatever. Day after Thanksgiving. Wow. Yeah, that's not a lot. It feels a little bit chilly to me here. This whole week in Vegas last weekend, we were freezing. Oh my gosh. And my grandson's football game, oh God, we were so cold. Absolutely froze to death. But here, I've been having a blanket on my lap pretty much every evening. I can't forget about this press conference. Talking about the nasty wells. That is so funny about the knee doctor. Oh, Lord. Don't you love whenever Don said that someone asked him if Summer would take a shower with him? He said yes, that she did shower with him sometimes. And they said, what about Candace? And he said, well, Candace doesn't shower. Oh my God. It's not funny, but it makes me laugh. Right, and it's because it's early. Yeah, blanket or chihuahuas, yeah. I know. I'm glad you made it too. I was starting to worry about you. I'm gonna check this out real quick. Yeah, it says in 20 minutes, so I can't believe I messed up that time zone thing. I thought I was pretty smart and handled that right. Yeah. Yeah, you missed her good food. That was so yummy. And my baby Jack loved it very much. He was so funny. He would not even slow down when he was eating that Alfredo. So what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Fun stuff. We were Top Hats told us the other night that he's going to cook Thanksgiving dinner at his ex-wife's house because her husband is sick, so he's going to go and cook dinner for them. That was so sweet. Looks like people are leaving to go watch somewhere else, maybe. I'm super anxious for this. Me too. I sure hope so. Yeah, it really was. I actually ate a lot of it too. Oh, that's all. Okay, that they're playing this year. Okay, I didn't know who was playing. We definitely will have the game on. Yep. That'll be very nice too. Jesse with your daughter and her fiance. Yeah, Mr. Snotty does the turkey. He wraps it in bacon and it is so juicy and it turns out awesome. It really does. It's yummy. He is a sweet guy. He did crazy Costco today and Walmart by himself. And you know what happens at Walmart or at Costco? Well, we both hit a wall and it's like, I don't give a shit if I got everything I need or not. I'm getting out of here right now. Can't take another second. That place gets crazy. Oh, she was talking about Top Hats. Yeah, that is really sweet of Top Hats. Mm-hmm. Yes, we are 8-1, and we are playing right now against Dallas. Oh, really? Oh, you guys are doing good this year, huh? That's nice. What is all that? I don't know what all that is, but okay, I'm not going to look at that because I don't know what the hell he's doing. It is really good done that way. It's super good. Yep, Mr. Fig is a Dallas fan. Oh, oh, she's been driving this whole time. Fig, you want to come on panel just in case something happens with my I don't think anything's going to happen with it. Who is playing on Thanksgiving? Fig, apparently Minnesota, but I don't know who they're playing. Yep, you can come on panel and help do the press conference. I can't see how I've screwed it up, other than the time. I did screw that up. I'm sorry about that. I'm getting anxious for it, though. Oh, really? Thank you for that, Mr. Snotty. Well, we'll have it on. We're going to eat at 3. So, but we'll have football going. Yeah, that's right. I don't even know how well the Buccaneers are doing this year. Oh, oh, okay. That's okay. I forgive. Don't forget, we're having Tuesday night. We're having a special guest um, to talk about what happens when CPS does their job. Things can work out well. Yeah, that would work out. I can handle that. So don't forget about Tuesday. Yes, I can't believe that took you a while to go. You're a ways from the gas station. Maybe it took a while. It seemed like a while. Tuesday night, yeah. Special guest. Oh, we're just 12 minutes away. And they better have something good to tell us. I'm nervous that they're gonna say nothing. Because that's what it seems like we get these days. When we get a press conference, they don't say anything. And if they don't have some kind of person of interest by now, that's not good. Oh yeah, she's in Minnesota. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, our family is pretty big football. We're Bronco fans. Of course, we like the Cardinals too because this is. Oh, you think that's going to be good? I hope so. I think it's going to be good. I think it's nice because it's a positive when there's so much negative with CPS. Oh, uh, uh, oh, that's funny. I was wondering. I thought that's an awful long way to go. Uh, does Justin Jefferson play for the Vikings? I'm assuming. Yeah, I am really not in the mood for that. Just like with Quentin, like I'm so nervous they're not going to find that baby. I feel like they're not. But they have to have something to arrest her on at some point. They just have to. Yeah, Afig said that that's her son's favorite player. That would be my angel, my grandson. He plays football. I'm gonna go check this again. Yep, less than 7 minutes. Oh, this page has stuff we should have been watching. Yeah, I think there's some other stuff on there I was just checking out. That would be cool to check to watch. It's getting chilly here now. Uh, I haven't watched football near as much the last few years. I usually watch the Super Bowl, but I haven't watched as much as I used to. I used to watch it all the time. Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I heard it was a debacle to get tickets. Oh, that's so cool. God, July, that's a ways off, but that is super cool. Yeah, I heard a lot of craziness going on with that. I can tell you that she is. She is watching it. She's at the bar watching it. Oh, God. Awesome. Yeah, she said they're watching Dallas and Broncos at the bar. Yeah, because Mr. Fig is a So it sounds like Dallas is winning. So everybody's all into football, and we're going to hear about. Yeah, that is totally crazy. Let me see what it says. Just over 3 minutes. I think we're waiting for our Christmas presents. Get myself all ready to hear a bunch of crap. I certainly hope I'm wrong. Or the stork. Yeah, like we're in a waiting room, right? All because I didn't know they had 2 time zones in Idaho. Oh God, well, it's kind of rare. I find the time on a Sunday to be kind of odd. I thought it was odd. So, just don't be on here. Don't come on to tell us that you have nothing to tell us. Yeah, a Sunday. This is kind of odd, I think. But maybe because people are watching football, they think they're not going to pay attention to this. The way people like to do things like on a Friday where when people aren't paying attention. I don't know. I can't imagine what it is they're up to. Yep, they need to say that. Oh, and here, let me pull it up. They're getting it started there.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department. The last spelling of my name is F-R-Y. I'd like to introduce Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier, Colonel Kedrick Wells of the Idaho State Police, University of Idaho President Scott Green, Dean of Students for the University of Idaho, Blaine Eccles, and Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. This incident has shaken our community, has continued to shake our community, and we continue to mourn for the victims. We will continue to vigorously pursue the investigation and pursue justice in this case. It is a complex and terrible crime, and it will take some time to resolve. Today, we want to clarify what we know and where we're at in this investigation. Our primary goal is public safety and to get a completion of this case and bring someone to justice. We continue to dedicate all the resources to this investigation. We've had 646 tips received, and all will be processed, vetted, investigated, and cleared. We've done over 90 interviews in this case so far, and the Moscow Police Department is utilizing the assistance from the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Latah County Sheriff's Office. The personnel that has been assigned to this from the Moscow Police Department is 4 detectives, 24 officers, and 5 support staff. Federal Bureau of Investigators, we have 22 investigators in Moscow. 20 additional are assigned and located in the Treasure Valley, Salt Lake City, Utah, and West Virginia. We have 2 behavior analysis individuals from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For the Idaho State Police, we have 20 investigators, a public information officer, ISP forensic services, and a crime scene team. We have 15 uniformed troopers to assist our community to help provide the additional resources for our patrols. Detectives are looking to develop any content that would help us in this event. Anyone who has observed any notable behavior or has any video surveillance or can provide relevant information about these murders, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. Or you can email the tip line and that is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. At this time, I would like to introduce Captain Lanier to give you some additional information.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain over the Operations Division for the Moscow Police Department. My last name is spelled Lanier. I just want to first state that this tragic murder has shaken the community. It's been very hard for members of the community, and it's been equally difficult for our officers and for the investigators. We will continue to put all of our resources towards investigating and bringing this to a resolution. Here's what we've determined so far. On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mulligan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m. 2 surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning. On the morning of November 13th, at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed to the Whitcomb Dispatch Center reporting an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence and was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Moscow Police Department officers responded and located 4 victims, 2 on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd floor. The Latah County coroners conducted autopsies, and detectives have been provided with the results of those autopsies. We know that the autopsies confirmed the identity of the 4 victims, determined the cause and manner of death as a homicide by stabbing, and determined that it was likely all 4 victims were asleep during the attack. Some of the victims had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. There was no sign of sexual assault. Investigators have determined 2 areas of interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our Facebook page and on our website. And these are areas that they have canvassed for additional surveillance video and tips and have contacted several residents in the areas. The areas are generally south of Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive and west of Highway 95. Detectives have also canvassed several other neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for additional surveillance video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something. I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the 2 surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released. So any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not accurate. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road and searched those dumpsters in an effort to find additional evidence, but nothing of note was discovered. Early in the investigation, local businesses were canvassed in an effort to see if any fixed blade type knives may have recently been purchased. And currently, there are no suspects in custody, and we have not located a weapon. I want to assure you that every investigator involved will continue to put all of their resources and all of our partner agencies' resources into continuing this investigation. We do appreciate the community support. We understand how stressful it is, and we will continue to work through this situation. At this time, I would like to turn the mic over to Colonel Wills from the Idaho State Police.
Thank you, Captain. My name is Kedrick Wills, Kedrickwills, and I serve as the Director of the Idaho State Police. And I appreciate your attendance this afternoon as we talk about this horrific, horrific crime. The murders of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee are a tragic loss to all of us. Nothing we can do will bring back these young lives. But we have an absolute commitment to working together to solve these senseless murders. And the way that we know how to do that is partnerships. And our partnership with the Moscow Police Department, with the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the University of Idaho to bring this issue to a conclusion and bring this to justice is absolute. We continue with Idaho State Police resources here on the ground in Moscow and throughout Idaho. Whatever the needs are, that's what we want to do. And the chief spoke about the Idaho State Police resources that are here, and he spoke about patrol resources. And we have those uniformed troopers here in Moscow and on the campus of the University of Idaho to help people to feel safe and to provide that security to the people that are here, both in the student body as well as in the community at large. And we will continue to do that as long as is necessary throughout this time. In addition, that's in addition to our forensics team that was here, in addition to our investigative team and all the other state police resources. We know that people want answers. We want answers too. As was already mentioned, this is really, really difficult for those investigators, those dedicated professionals who are investigating this crime. And a lot of people have expressed their desire to help. And the best thing that most of people can do to help is to stop with any kind of rumors and just seek official information that comes out of the Moscow Police Department. Anything that we have that we can share from a law enforcement perspective, we will be sharing just as soon as we can, because that's how we think that we can get this to conclusion. Please rely on official sources of information, and please be patient. I understand that everybody wishes that this was solved already, but these things take time. It takes time to work through. You heard the stats of all the tips and everything, the interviews and everything that's been done. This takes time for our investigators to work through. So please be patient as we work through this investigation. We owe this to these young kids, to these young adults. We owe it to them. And we are absolutely dedicated to make sure that that happens. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the University of Idaho President, President Scott Green.
Scott Green, President, University of Idaho. Last name spelled Green, like the color. First, we continue to extend our heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of the victims. As stated earlier, we want justice and appreciate the increased resources from the Idaho State Police and FBI that have been brought to bear on this crime. We fully appreciate and share the frustration of our students, employees, parents, and community members who continue to push for answers. While we wait for answers in the investigation, we've ramped up our security safety practices and are listening to students and supporting them in any way possible. The University of Idaho's primary focus now is on supporting our students and working to meet their varied needs. The police continue to inform us that they believe this was a targeted attack, but we recognize this is not good enough for some of our students who will want to complete their semester remotely until the person who committed the crime is in custody. We are also hearing that some students want to be back on campus and in Moscow because they gain comfort from the structure of classes and being with their friends and professors. All reactions and feelings are valid, and we all process these tragedies differently. We're asking instructors to plan for both sets of students as we finish the semester. We will be communicating decisions early this week so that families can discuss and plan their individual response over the Thanksgiving break. We learned a lot during COVID, and we have many course delivery options our faculty can deploy to meet student needs. Student and employee safety remain our priority. We have increased security patrols on campus since we were notified of this off-campus incident. We have also benefited from increased Idaho State Police presence on our campus, which we are grateful for. They have been a very visible force, and they will continue this dedicated presence on our campus into the foreseeable future. Importantly, they have also assigned resources to the community since this crime occurred off campus. In addition to the campus-wide precautions being taken, we offer the following safety and security features in our residence halls. We will continue our Safe Walk, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All residence halls are locked 24 hours a day and only accessible by students that live in the building. All guests must be accompanied by a resident of the building. Each residential community has a dedicated resident assistant staff and a live-in full-time resident director to help ensure a safe environment. Every evening, there are resident assistants that are on duty to perform safety and security rounds in their area, including during fall break. Housing and Resident Life always has at least 2 full-time staff members that are on call to provide support and emergency response 24 hours a day, including over the fall break. And our Learning Center Information Desk Living and Learning Center Information Desk is open 24 hours a day and will be open all of fall break for our students' needs. While we certainly hope there is a swift closure with the arrest of whoever is responsible for this crime, we must also be prepared for all the possibilities, including a lengthy investigation. We must balance safety concerns and the need to grieve, along with the long-term needs of our students and our employees. We're making security our top priority. We are also planning for the very real possibility that some students aren't comfortable returning to campus. We will do our best to meet the needs of all students. Our faculty is working hard over the break to consider alternative delivery methods. We will also continue making counseling services available for all our students and employees as we process our grief. The care and concern for our Vandal family is our primary role, and we take that very seriously. We are a Vandal family, and nothing means more to us than family. And I'd also like to just thank all those for the great outpouring of support we've received from the nation. It's been incredible time, and all those who stand in solidarity with us, just know it means a great deal to us. Thank you.
So we're going to open it up at this time to about 8 to 10 questions. We ask that only 1 question is asked per person, please. And I would also like to just see if there's an Argonaut reporter here, I think it's only fair to give our student reporter the first shot.
Speak up if you're in the room, if you're from the Argonauts.
There.
Are you from the Argonauts?
Are you from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Is anybody from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ted Williams, Fox News. You all have said that these killings are targeted. Can you share with us why you believe they are targeted killings? And do you know who, if any, of the victims were the actual targets of the killings?
As we stated earlier in the previous press release or press conference, we believe they're targeted because we take a totality of all the circumstances that we're looking at. Do we know any one person that it was targeted? We're not able to say at this point in time due to our investigation, but we still believe that. But we, like I said, we take a totality of everything that we're looking at.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. On the resources, do you have the resources that you need?
We do have the resources. It is an incredible outpouring of what we receive from the Idaho State Police and from the Federal Bureau of Investigations and Latah County. Anything we ask for is given. So at any time, if we need additional, all I have to do is call the colonel, and he will provide that. He's already guaranteed me that, and I know the FBI has said the same thing.
Hi, Emma Epperly from the Spokesman Review. I know you've said you're not going to release who the 911 caller was, but was the killer the 911 caller?
I will tell you no.
Can you clarify, you said it was made from the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate make the call on the roommate's phone, or can you clarify if it was another individual who made the call?
Actually, if we could just go to this one first. And
Well, it's a follow-up, that's why I wanted to.
so what I'll say to that is it was made from the roommate's call or phone, excuse me. And we're not going to divulge who made that call it's part of our investigation still. And when we get ready to release that, we will.
Hi, Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Everything that we have taken from those calls, we have followed up on, we've cleared, and we believe that there's no connection there.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two roommates when police responded to the home?
So will you clarify that for me?
You're not confirming a roommate called 911, but used the roommate's phone. So was there someone else at the home other than those two roommates?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
How many? And was that whole home?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure at this time, to be quite honest.
Do you guys have any idea if the killer's still within the community, or are you looking outside the community for the killer in terms of their physical location?
We are looking everywhere that evidence would lead us. I can't say if the person's here. I can't say what community the person's in. We're utilizing every resource we can to make that location of that individual. And part of that is the safety of our community is paramount. And that's why we brought in the resource that we brought in to keep our community as safe as we can.
Being so close to the border, does that make it kind of automatically an interstate investigation? Can you comment on that?
I cannot comment on that. I'm not even aware.
If you look in Washington at all, I guess.
We're looking everywhere. I'm going to take 2 more questions.
Do you still believe this attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
You don't know how this happened without the other 2 roommates hearing it or waking up or noticing?
We do not. One more question.
Hi, Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. In the press release yesterday, you confirmed that the victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. Can you say which of the victims were found where?
I'm not going to go ahead and disclose that information. They were found on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you. We thank you for meeting with us. We thank you for helping get information out. And I can assure you, we will continue to work hard. We will continue to do everything we can to solve this. So thank you.
Is this related to any animal mutilation?
Okay. I don't know about any of you, but I'm extremely frustrated. No, we didn't learn a damn thing. Nothing. Right. He already said they were in bed. So, oh, there's Top Hats. I haven't seen you yet. It didn't sound like he was trying to hide info. Sounded more to me that one or another didn't have. I don't know. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder because how do they not have any? They know nothing. We didn't learn anything right now. We didn't learn anything from that. I'm very frustrated by yeah, oh yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I don't think they told us anything. I feel like they have to come out and say something. Because people are frustrated, but it's not helping when when you're not saying anything. There's no way this person did not leave something. Oh, I'm so frustrated. I think that, oh my gosh. I wanted so much more from that. I really did. Okay, so what do you think?
Oh, me. Oh, I'm in. Okay. Hello. Sorry, I'm in and out of good service. Well, number one, I think the president could have really chose something besides a fucking tracksuit. Excuse my language, but there was a quadruple homicide. I don't know that was appropriate. Honestly, I think the police don't really know how to deal with something like this. I can appreciate all the resources they're bringing out. I think that's great. But when he says things like, oh, I'm not going to reveal more information, but you already did do that. You already said they were killed in bed, but then when they ask you for specifics, you say you're not going to tell. Right. So it's hard to say for sure. Were they all in bed?
Well,
were they not all in bed?
And the coroner said that too. The coroner
Yes.
already, yeah.
Which is, so I don't know if they're not realizing, kind of like a slip of the tongue situation, kind of like the mayor. I feel like the mayor had a little bit in one of those situations, because I'm sure the mayor is privy to more information than the public. So that crime of passion thing, that came from somewhere. Either spitballing with the police chief or whatever, but it came from somewhere.
Right. Well, and that's what I don't know if you heard earlier when we listened to Dr. Baden. You know, like he said, you know, you could say crime of passion, who knows? But obviously it's very personal.
Obviously, I think that that's the most important thing here. I think that's something that everybody knew from the get-go too.
Right.
This is clearly something personal. I think somebody was on here the other night talking about that, and just to understand the layout of that house would mean you've been in that house before. That's not an intuitive layout. You know, I was explaining it to Mr. Fig, and you know, when you go to someone's house and you need to use the bathroom, you can kind of figure out where it is without asking, if you just kind of look around usually.
Right.
This was not a house like that. You would not have been able to just figure shit out.
Right. It's somebody who's been in that house before.
Yeah, because it looks like one of those houses where you kind of enter on the main level, but the main level is actually the second floor.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And then like the first floor is actually more of a subterranean level, if you will. Maybe not a full basement, but a partial maybe.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's like a garden level.
Right. Yeah, maybe garden level is what you.
But I don't know that. I don't know that at all.
But it definitely looks like the type of place where you enter on the second floor. And so when they say the roommate's on the second floor, and then the boyfriend and the couple, I guess, killed on the third floor, the roommates that didn't wake up were down in the basement. So it's somebody, again, it's somebody who knows how to get in and out of that house. They know where things are located. They know where bedrooms are, because it's a very strange layout. It really is.
Right. I think it's laid out well for what they use it for students. You know, having certain separate areas to themselves. Yeah, I can.
No, I think you're right, Top Hat. Sorry, I know Top Hats is talking about maybe the possibility of a serial.
To me, I think when I think of stabbing, I think that is personal, because, but then again, of course, well, obviously, you know, and I did hear somebody talking the other day about the fact that, because there was no sexual assault, but there are people that get sexual gratification out of
from
stabbing.
the murder themselves. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't actually need sexual assault. Sorry, I'm putting my headphones.
No. So what you could have, you know, so that would be something else that they would have to know. You know, was there? I mean, this sounds really foul. I mean, was there semen on the anywhere? And
Well, saying no sexual assault, I mean, I think if there was semen, I was talking to my husband about this while I was listening to the press conference. If you look at the Liza Fletcher case, which, you know, obviously just recently occurred, that just happened, the FBI had touched DNA in like under 24 hours on a weekend.
Right.
Now, I understand the rush was that this was still a missing person, so it's a little different. Obviously, there's still a rush. You want to catch the killer, but you're not looking for a person that may still be alive. But the FBI has the ability to get DNA evidence back pretty damn fast when and if they want to. And I feel like their rush to be involved in this case would mean that they want to. So I think if there was semen, we'd have DNA by now. That would be my guess anyway.
Yeah, and so, well, yeah, and if he really went to, or if whoever did it went to that extent to do that, then they took gloves off, they whatever.
Right.
I can't imagine, but no, you're right, Top Hats. You can find the layout online.
Right, but even though I mean, we went over the photos, and I went over them a bunch of times because I was the one who found the layout
Mhm.
for you so you could show it. So I went through it several times. I don't know that looking at those photos would have necessarily told me how to navigate the house. And it kind of looks like the type of house where things have been added over time. This is not like a standard track home, right? This is like my mother-in-law's or my grandmother-in-law's house, where the living room used to be the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, one of the bedrooms. And
Right.
now there's all these rooms that have been added on in the last several decades to make this completely different house that's nothing like a regular house. It's not exactly like that, but that's how I would imagine this navigating this house would be like, based off of what I saw anyway.
Right, and the photos that we have are from, from it being on the market, and when, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it said it was remodeled in 2019, 2020, somewhere, obviously both years. Obviously, you saw the pictures I sent from the old layout, but even the old layout to the new layout after the remodel, there were differences. I don't know if you noticed, like the laundry room was completely different. So I don't know. I don't think serial killers. And again, it could be. Again, I could be wrong. I don't know all serial killers. I know a lot about them, but if they're going to go on what would be considered a spree, which is what this would be, Jeffrey Dahmer did the same thing, obviously, as we know. And he got caught pretty damn quickly because there wasn't a lot of foresight involved in that particular sorority house spree killing that he did. It's a big escalation, number one, which usually means they've been doing it for a while. So they've escalated to this. It usually means that they can't control the impulse any longer. So it's something that's gotten completely out of control. So doing a lot of pre-research to look into it and a lot of stalking and the gathering of information just doesn't seem consistent with something that would be considered a spree. And that's what this would normally be considered, if that makes sense.
Well, for what I think is a serial killer, they're usually very big about not taking big risk. This is why
No, unless they've lost all control.
So many of them target, sex workers or, homeless people that may not even be, reported as missing or anything right away. They are very big about not having big risk. Usually.
Right. I mean, obviously, unless there tends to be like that weird escalation, like I said, where they've lost all control of the impulse. But that would lead you to maybe see some crimes in the area, maybe not directly in Moscow, but like in the surrounding area that were a little suspicious. Like you said, it's like sex workers or maybe the homeless
Because
population.
this was a big risk. There's a lot of people in the house.
This was a big risk.
A lot of floors. A lot of people to fight you. And yes, Top Hats, that's my whole thing. We could understand if you said you had no suspect, but no person of interest whatsoever. See, that's where we're either dealing with police officers that literally don't, have never handled anything remotely like this, or and they're not even getting advice. Did they not get any advice from FBI or anybody else to go into this thing, into this press conference?
They definitely got advice from the FBI. It's whether or not they took it.
Well, I don't think they took. You cannot say you have literally no person of interest whatsoever. There has to be a person of interest. There has to be persons.
Right, but if I were them, and I didn't have any evidence to bring that person of interest in, I don't know that I would say either. I mean,
well, you can lie because they don't. Right? We don't know.
I
You're
guess.
stuck.
We're driving. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
But we when it came to Leilani and they said she was a person of interest, but they couldn't arrest her, she could still run, right? She could still take off. There'd be nothing to stop her.
She may have.
So
she may not be there now. I don't
she
know.
very well
but
might have at this point.
But you don't have to name the person of interest.
Right. You don't have to name them, you're right. But I feel like it's a really small town. And if you did have somebody, you wouldn't want to spook them. Right?
I say
I
you
don't
do
know.
want to spook them.
Maybe. I mean, there's tactics in both directions, I guess. But I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I really thought with it being a Sunday afternoon like this, there would be a little more to it than just,
Right. I was so
please help.
surprised at this time. Yeah. Right. Exactly. I knew immediately, right out of the gate, he said, here's the tip line. And I was like, oh, for Pete damn sake. A massacre went on in there. How do you not have nothing? You have nothing. You know, when you're talking, like we talked the other night about, Charles Manson kind of thing or whatever. We didn't have DNA. We didn't have all that kind of shit back then. So now with everybody having a camera on their house, everybody, we can pull DNA, like you said, with Fletcher within 48 hours. How the hell are we getting worse at this shit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's getting worse or if it's just a weird strategy. I don't know that I wouldn't have called a press conference if I had nothing to say.
Right.
In some ways,
I'm
it seemed
so
like a
sick of
little
that.
bit of a pat on the back kind of a presser, and those drive me nuts. I hate the let me tell you everything we're doing to solve this press conference. Just go solve the crime.
Let's
prove
take
to
10
me that you're
questions,
doing
but
it.
not answer one.
Right. And it's like they're just trying to tell you how hard they're working. I don't want to hear about that. Work
No,
as hard
I
as
don't.
you want. I like results.
Right.
So
I don't care if you have 2,500 people working on it. If they don't come up with anything, that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, put in as many man hours as you want. I want to know what's happening. Jesse Lynn's right, though. She was just asking about the 911 call.
He acted very weird about that. He acted very weird.
Yes. Everything about that is so strange. So in previous press conferences, he has said, the police chief himself, I've seen the quotes, I've heard it come out of his own mouth, that it was not the roommates.
Right.
It was not someone who lived there. And then today, they said it was from the roommate's phone within the house about an unconscious person, which I still don't understand why anyone who saw any of those people would have said unconscious.
Right.
There was blood everywhere. I mean, I haven't seen crime scene photos, but I have to imagine there was blood everywhere.
Well, it's coming down the foundation of the home outside.
So unconscious would be a very, very weird word to use in that situation. But then today when they said, oh, well, you previously said it wasn't a roommate, he was like, I'm not going to divulge that. You already did.
Right.
So what do you mean?
And you're right, Top Hats. Other people had gone right. But why are they are acting weird about it? Because they're very specific to say it was not the roommates. Neither one of those people made the 911 call. But they both, but now they say it was made with their phone, though. And the reason they're saying
made with their phone,
because the family's been coming out saying things.
Yeah. But they've also said a lot of collection of weird things that now they're trying to kind of backpedal on. And they said, we'll release that when and if it's necessary. So is the person who called a suspect? Is that a person of interest? Because
Well,
otherwise,
I
why
don't-
would it be so secret? Why would it not be okay to release that information?
Who made the call? Well, because the family is the one saying stuff, and it sounded like to me also they're trying to tell us not to listen to all that. Because the
But it
family's coming
also
on
sounds
point.
like right. See, Jesse, yes, unconscious is a very different word than bloodbath. Absolutely right. I don't know how you would see that scene and the first word was, there's some people that are unconscious.
He does.
Like,
And he
Yeah,
acts funny about the 911 call, period. I mean, because really, he doesn't have a good poker face. I mean, when he says he doesn't know shit, it's because he doesn't know shit. But when he
No, and I
talks about the 911 call, he wants to just kind of look around the room like some kind of fucking child or something. Like, I don't even understand what the hell he's doing.
yeah, and I don't think he can actually even recall what he has said in previous press conferences. He
Or in
seems
the
to have a
same
really
press
hard
conference.
time. Yeah, exactly. In the same. He has a really hard time keeping his facts straight.
Right.
Because yeah, he's back. He'll tell you all these things, and then when they ask for clarification, he's, well, we're not going to tell you any of that. Well, you already did.
Well, you already did. Right. You already did.
Right. You already told us the position of the bodies. So why are you now not wanting to clarify?
He wouldn't say
it's
about the
definitely
911 caller. He wouldn't say if that person was a suspect.
That he is extremely close to the vest on, very tight-lipped, in a suspicious fashion, because everything else he kind of ends up accidentally saying something about. Other than that, that's the one thing that they have been.
And he was specifically asked,
very
can you
quiet
just
about.
roll him out? Can you roll that person out? And he was like, him haul around, but no.
Which, to be honest, I mean, if you're going to call and say unconscious, sorry. I had a few drinks, guys. I may not be saying that word correctly now.
It's a hard word. I can't say it right either.
It's lost all meaning now. But if that's the word you're going to use, that's very suspect to me.
Right.
And now that is the one and only detail that they just do not fudge. They don't accidentally release more info about it.
They haven't
are
backtracked.
No, they're not backpedaling on it.
It
It's
is
the one and only
that
detail.
way from the get-go. Yes.
Yeah, they don't fuck that detail up. So it's either somebody that they don't want anyone to know is associated. Like, the chief's son. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to start a conspiracy. Or it's somebody who's a little suspect.
I'm pretty sure his name is Jack.
Right, half the town's name is Jack, apparently.
Right.
That was new to me tonight, but yeah, I mean, it's either somebody that they don't want to be associated with this crime for their own reputation, or it's somebody who's very suspect. Those are really kind of the only two options at this point, because it's the one detail they haven't fucked up.
Right.
So
and that is so clearly an issue for me, and has been all along. That very word does not fit in this scenario. Without me even being there and seeing it, I can tell you that word does not fit.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you use their phone but not, I don't know. So this person went inside and talked to the roommates and decided to call because somebody was passed out.
Yeah.
There had to be blood everywhere.
That's what I mean. That's not the word that you use in that scenario. You don't see blood literally everywhere and say, we have some unconscious people here. Like, what? No, that would be the kind of 911 call you would receive would be hysterical.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to understand their words, much less unconscious. No, they were murdered. They're dead. Like, I think it was Jesse Lynn that said, it's a bloodbath. It's a weird phrase to use for sure in that scenario.
That's what you would get on the phone and say there's blood everywhere. You know,
yes,
I don't know.
Yes.
years ago, I watched this deal where this a roommate, she came home and her roommate had been brutally stabbed, and when she called 911, they were saying, you know, is she breathing? And she's like, I don't know, I'm not touching. No, I don't think so. No, like she's full.
Right. I've heard some really odd 911 calls, and I know that people react differently in certain situations. I know you hear it all the time. They're like, oh, they thought they found a mannequin, right? Not a body, because it's like the brain kind of protecting you. But this was blood everywhere. This is not, I'm sorry, there is no calm demeanor. I'm a pretty calm person because I have an insane amount of anxiety. So I've prepared myself for all scenarios, including this one. To just walk into a room to a full blood. I've been ready for that since I was like 9 years old, I think. So I just mean that's how my brain runs wild. I still don't know. I wouldn't be able. I know I wouldn't be able to just. I think we might need an ambulance over here. It looks like it could be a problem. No, nobody's gonna be that calm. It's just not a thing.
No, you know, and the way they're not, you know, we never get to hear 911 calls anymore. I'm getting kind of fed up with that shit too. We're not allowed to hear the 911 call. Why? You're muted. Oh,
yeah, I know. I'm talking to my husband. I need to go into the store real quick, so I'm gonna have to jump off here. I was trying to see if he wanted to take over for a sec for me, but
I'm not a murder expert, so I can't answer questions. Just can't do it.
So
you're not a true crime aficionado, huh?
I'm gonna shut the mic and cam off, and if I get back in time to talk to you some more, I will. But you are Ice Cube, a fake. That actually, Mr. Snotty knows that because he tries to play pranks on me with fake snakes and stuff, and I just don't even. I'm like, oh, is that a snake? But I'll turn the mic and camera off if I'm back in time. Then I am. If I'm not, then I'm not. It's just good seeing everybody.
All right. Okay, well, hopefully she'll come back because she does have some good insight on this stuff. That's the kind of thing her and I actually get on the phone and talk for hours about all these different things. But yes, I would love to hear the 911 call, and I do think that he's acting super weird. So he's not saying that it is a person of interest, but it's not not saying yes or no. I think it's just super duper strange. You like her a lot. So do I. That's my best friend. She's my best buddy. Yeah, so they do have profilers working on it. So I don't understand. But you know that there's that one famous profiler. I can't think of her name. I watched her on Entertainment Tonight or something the other day. I don't even think that's a show anymore. I don't know what I watched it on. But she was saying it's already a bad deal at this point. If they did not get him evidence immediately, then this is going to be bad. They're not going to, you know, everybody says within the first 48. And if they have not combed through, there has got to be something on cameras. There's something. There's no way that person came in there and did that and walked off, and that's that. I did hear that Kaylee did have a stalker not too long ago. She had spoke about it, but I don't know any. I just heard a little bit of that. I'm just annoyed. I have no idea why they even had a press conference. Seriously, no idea whatsoever why. Why did they bother doing that? I figured a Sunday, it was an odd time. I'm like, they must really have something to say. They don't. They didn't have a damn thing to say. So that's really disappointing to me. And I don't know, some people were saying, kind of a Amanda Knox feeling to this, but not so much, not in the way because it was 4 people. That's a lot. I just don't. Uh, yeah, I can't help but feel that maybe the roommates had people over, or I heard that they had locked their bedroom doors because they heard of that crimes of passion or rage type things usually happen. Right. Where this does exactly right, Top Hat. That's just it. Because this seems to be very premeditated. Like, yeah, that's what's really crazy about it. Yeah, and crimes of passion are, you brought some other guy home from the bar and now I'm gonna have to kill everybody or something. I don't know. I'm very disappointed in the press conference, and he definitely acts super weird about the 911 caller. Because this is the first time he's bothered to say that it was the roommate's phone. I had heard that from one of the parents, but I don't know. Everything is super weird. My only thing is with today's technology and the way you can get blood and find that person's third cousin somehow and end up, I mean, look how we got the Golden State Killer. The way shit can happen like that, and like Ashley was saying with Eliza Fletcher, they had that DNA shit done fast, like the next day. That was wild to me. That was awesome. How in the hell do we not have shit handled by now? Not have anything? Yeah, hopefully they have something and they're just not saying it, but then don't even have a press conference. I am so tired of that. Put out a release that says, we don't know shit from Shinola, so don't bother asking us. Exactly right. There is not a damn thing. We have no idea if they have any evidence of any kind. My idea is that maybe this is Mayberry and they don't know how to collect evidence. I don't freaking know. Right. That's what he said. We don't know shit. We don't know a damn thing. So, go bother somebody else. I don't know what the hell they're saying. So frustrating. Why parade, 7 people to get up there and say nothing? Jeez. Big fat waste of everybody's time. And, you and I have talked about this too, Todd Pats, where we feel like this is someone's going to be arrested soon. Or no, I don't think you said that. I think where's Summer? Right. They do have. So who are the people that know anything at this point? I don't know. I could tell you these are times I hate when this stuff happens. I want so bad to ask my dad. He would have like the most awesome assessment of shit. He was so, I loved just asking him, what do you think about this or that? He had such good insight on this. No, you're absolutely right. 100%. He is very concerned about that, and he should be, especially if they're not going to handle it. On Thanksgiving. Right. What the F? We're just going to start being able to, the more we learn, the less we know. Who have they brought in to interrogate? Who has been questioned?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure they brought in every Jack in the state of Idaho. So they've questioned all of those guys. We know it's not a Jack. Sorry, just got home, so.
No, is this irritating though? Look how we found the Golden State Killer because of a relative's blood that went through, 23andMe or some shit. Okay.
Yeah. And then
So
you have to actually submit that you're okay with them doing that. There's actually a case right now where they have a genealogy match, which is what that's how they caught Golden State Killer.
Right.
But the person they matched to did not agree to divulge themselves in their past lineage. So they have a match and they can't use it. You've probably heard of that one. I don't know if anybody else on here has. It depends on how obsessed you are with this stuff. It was the yogurt place murder. I think it's from the 80s, maybe the 70s. They killed the three guys at the yogurt shop, set the place on fire. That one. They have a familial match, just like in Golden State Killer.
Really?
But the database they got it from is a private database where the information was not to be released, so they can't do anything with it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That was in a mall.
Like a strip mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in a strip mall. It was a yogurt place. Hello, Jessie Lynn. Yes, I am best friend / child of Jackie. So, yeah, but so those don't always work out either. It really depends if you've approved it.
Yeah, but every place has a camera.
Mm-hmm. Which they asked for more of that today, which tells me that they know more than obviously they said. Which makes sense. You want to keep things to yourself a little bit. You need, if they, like Top Hat said, if they really have 2 profilers working on this and they have more information about this than they're divulging, that's probably why they say it's 100% they know it's a targeted thing. I don't think that's just to protect the university. I think that's true, which, I mean, I feel like it's targeted and I don't belong to any kind of behavioral analysis unit, but I definitely think they know more. I think they went out into the public saying like, hey, we got a bunch of tips, but that wasn't enough. Please give us some more. I think they have an idea, a couple ideas of who it may be, and they just don't have evidence to arrest them yet. And if you don't do this right, you end up having a lot of problems and people get off. So frustrating for sure, but I would guess that's what's happening.
Yeah. I just feel like this is 100% going to be a forensic case. So.
Yeah, I don't see how there's no DNA evidence. But again, DNA evidence only gets you so far. If this is some entitled frat boy, which I'm sorry, I don't mean to stereotype, but we've all seen what these entitled frat boys are capable of in the past. Not all of them. I'm sure there's some really great fraternity brothers out there.
Some of them have been very falsely accused of things too.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have been a little rapey. But if that's what it is, then they probably don't have a criminal record. So you may have DNA, but unless they've consented to have their DNA somewhere, or they've been arrested, or they're sitting in a federal prison, which if they were, they wouldn't have done this, they're not going to be able to match it. So it's not going to mean much. Not quite yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't like more laws, but I definitely do not want to have, I I don't want to the fact that we could get a killer and not.
I don't like that either. So as much, I agree with Top Hats. I know that one that I was just talking about. That one frustrates me a lot because those girls were teenagers, and I believe one of them's younger sister was also there.
Yeah,
it's a sad situation.
Very
But at the
sad.
same time, I also understand the need for that. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. So you start using, but again, if somebody I was related to did, I would like you to find them.
Right.
So it's a slippery slope.
It is.
So, but if they may have DNA. And the good thing is they can start parading people in and asking for DNA samples. So if that person doesn't have any DNA on record, they can start using it to eliminate people.
Well,
which will take time.
Yeah, but even like Dr. Baden said, you know, how his footprints could not be in blood or something, that just is almost.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. They probably have a shoe print. They probably know what shoe they were wearing. They probably know what size they wear. They probably have the DNA. I would guess a town like Moscow is going to really whip out a wide net on this one. You're probably going to eventually find out that they DNA swabbed tens, if not hundreds of people by the time this is all over, if that's what they have to do in order to get there.
Yeah, I feel like there's one because if you notice, that was another thing he actually did act weird about. He didn't say no to, was if there was one person they felt was a target.
Yeah, he didn't say that. And it's possible it was the guy Top Hats. I feel like that's a little bit weird because the guy didn't live there. So he wasn't always there. And it's possible he was followed or they knew, you know, maybe he called somebody. But everybody was asleep. And obviously they were not light sleepers. So why kill the two girls on the first floor that you walked into, the main living space, the second floor, before you got to them? It definitely to me feels like, I feel like all the girls in that house were the target. Either by some creepy dude who knew they all lived there. Who's like,
yeah, some guy that came to parties there and just kind of lurked around like some weird stick.
Right. But I feel like all the girls in that house were targets. But something must have spooked him before he got to that bottom level. Either that or he had never been there often enough to know there was a basement bottom level. If you were having a party, that's probably not a level most people would have gone to. There really be no reason for it. You know,
right,
the deck and the patio.
Door, you go upstairs or.
Your deck and patio seemed like they were more on the main living, and then obviously the third floor. So if you were just kind of someone who had been to several parties there, you might not have known there was a basement level. If it was an ex-boyfriend, they probably would have known.
But if you wanted to get the two in the locked doors, I mean, if you're going to pull what you pulled, I'm pretty sure, I don't know about a locked door, if that would have kept you out.
Well, why were their doors locked and nobody else's were?
Well, because this is what we're hearing from the family. Not from, because we don't hear Dick.
Yeah, as I said, I had heard that. I didn't hear that from anybody.
The girls said they heard something like roughly, they heard something going on, and so they just locked their doors and went to sleep. But it was like they thought the other people had brought home like company and was partying or whatever.
So not like that seems weird.
Well, you know, I tried to think of, and that was my thought too. But then I thought, you know, okay, if you are living with a bunch of roommates, you know, what if you have some wanderer that wants to just come around and, you know, end up in your room or something? You would lock, I don't know. I would lock my door all the time anyway.
That if that's happened in the past.
I would always lock my door, no matter what. If I had other people living there, because you know what? I might have come home, locked the front door, and then went to bed, but who knows who's going to leave it open? You don't know. If you have five people living in the same place, you don't know what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, but I don't know that like hearing noises and getting up and just automatically locking your door and going back to bed would be like your normal response, unless there have been other instances where that was necessary. Maybe you were trying to sleep and people would party and they would come into your room. Like something like that would have had to happen in the past in order for that to be your
Right. Well, that's what
immediate
I'm saying.
reaction. I mean, you don't get up and like look around a little bit. You just like, oh, they must have people partying, and then they both lock their door. That's a little weird for both of them to do it.
Well, my thinking was, why didn't you call 911 then? Because that was my thinking all along has been, they would have had to have heard something and got into a closet, you know, buried themselves deep, and then, you know, whispered to 911.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought it was something bad, yeah. I mean, I could see if you just thought it was people just showing up to party. But I
And
think
then
it's
they
really
slept till
weird
noon
that-
the next day.
I think it's a weird reaction to just lock the door, and I think it's super weird for both of them to do it. I don't think that that's a normal instinctual reaction. That sounds a little suspicious to me. That sounds weird.
Yeah, Top Hats, I'm with you on that. I have a feeling it had something to do. I think it was somebody that was stalking, that had an issue with Kaylee. I just think that way.
Is Kaylee the one that with the boyfriend or no?
No.
So it was one of the girls on the main level.
He had
then.
an ex-boyfriend named Jack.
Or Jake, but Jack was his friend. That's what I saw earlier. I think Jesse Lynn was putting a breakdown of that. Jack was the one who was kicked out of a frat, which I don't know what the hell you have to do to get kicked out. That's a little suspicious too.
Oh yes,
he was a friend of the ex-boyfriend. The one at the food truck was a
that
friend
was
of the
somebody in the neighborhood. The Jack at the food truck was somebody who lived in their neighborhood.
Oh, okay. But the other Jack is a friend of Jake's. The Jack that got kicked out of a frat, but is a friend of Kaylee's ex.
I guess. Now I'm confused.
I think that's what I read. I think that's what Jesse was saying. I think it was Jesse Lynn. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it was
Jack. Yeah, did you think we found out anything? Okay. Kaylee was the one wearing, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. You're right, Jesse Lynn. It could have been a separate entrance to the downstairs and somebody did lock it. That's totally possible. It's a weird house. It really is. I don't think Jesse Lynn was on that live when we looked through it, but that's entirely possible. Yes, Top Hats. One of the many Jacks in this town, was friends with Kaylee's ex, Jake. I read that again. I don't know if it was Jesse Lynn or not, but I feel like it was. She's on here. She can confirm if it was, but that Jack was kicked out of a fraternity, which again, I've seen some frat brothers be responsible for some very wild behavior and not be kicked out. So I don't know.
Yeah, what gets you kicked out?
There could be a revenge retaliation thing. It could have been more than one person. Especially because if those girls thought there was partying going on, I feel like quietly stalking around a house, stabbing people in the neck, not loud enough to suggest a party. But yeah, that's definitely strange to me. Okay, yeah, so it was Jesselyn. Yeah, Jack was kicked out. And it sounds to me like Top Hats, he was actually friends with the guy who dated Kaylee.
Yeah, there's Jake and Jack. There's like 4 Jacks and a Jake.
Yeah, there's a million Jacks and a Jake. Yeah, but Jack kicked out of the frat, was friends with Jake, and Jake dated Kaylee. And I mean, all universities, I don't know about this one in particular, but most of them have a reputation for covering up and sweeping under the rug a lot of essays and other types of assaults.
Okay, right.
So, I mean, I think it's presumptuous to create a theory just completely based on that alone, but I also think it would be stupid not to at least consider it as an option.
Well, it's definitely going to be, the school is going to try to get, they don't want this.
No, tracksuit does not like this at all.
Right.
That thing looked a little bit reflective too, did it not? Like he showed up dressed like I am right now. Like that was
a little flashy.
That was not okay. That was weird. That was super weird.
Yeah, I just feel very disappointed in the whole thing. I feel like this was stupid. Wonder if he ever did get kid.
Right, just casual Sunday. Right. Did he not know he was going to go on TV? That was weird. That was super weird. Very inappropriate. So,
Okay,
yeah.
This is really off the subject, but I just have to ask, and now all of a sudden I can't remember the name, but are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. I was checking the score of the Broncos game. 16-16 versus the Raiders. But right, exactly. Like me. Everybody bothered me from the bar, but I'm not the president of University of Idaho. Just kidding. You guys didn't bother me, but
Right, which probably most of the time he doesn't have issues on a Sunday.
no, but this was planned. Like he had a statement that was written for him in advance. He could have put a suit jacket on. I mean, geez, that was a little inappropriate. We're now 8-2. Oh, you guys ended up losing. I know I've been getting a flurry of text messages from my husband and my brother. I'm seeing them come in, so it looks like the Cowboys took that win. Sorry about that, Jess. So I'm sorry, you said off the subject what? I'm sorry, what were you going to ask him?
Well, what I have to ask you guys if you've heard about, because it is so insane. Oh shoot. This what is her name? Okay, stop.
Are you watching David's YouTube videos?
Sorry, no.
Yes, Top Hats. He had
the Shanquilla Robinson.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh my God.
I've not heard.
Yeah, they definitely have time to plan. They had enough time to pull their head out of their ass.
Yeah, if you have written remarks, you had time to pick out a better outfit. Repping the university in that outfit.
Oh my God, this Shanquilla Robinson, I cannot even handle this. Like, oh my God. Have you guys watched the video?
I haven't, because I have no idea what you're talking about. So.
Oh my God. Oh.
Jesse Lynn has. And
yeah, I really wish I hadn't watched it. It's really harsh. Yep. Yeah, well, I think they've taken off now. The friends are nowhere to be found now, because all these friends went to Mexico together, and everybody but one came home, and they said she had alcohol poisoning.
But there's beating her ass.
Well, then these videos emerge of them beating her so bad.
Oh my God.
And
that's terrible.
Yeah, Top Hats, that's exactly what he was doing. It's so harsh. It is so harsh. And they're making fun. Like, one girl is just beating her bad. And because the autopsy comes back, it had nothing to do with alcohol. She had brain damage. She was beat to death.
Oh my God.
Yeah, fractured spine. Yeah. And so in this video, somebody is videotaping, because she's not even fighting back. They're just really and she's stark naked, nothing, not a stitch of clothes on. And and they beat her so bad, and she's not fighting back. I don't know if what's going on, but they're like, why don't you fight back? Why don't you fight, like, antagonizing it? Well, now, as soon as the autopsy came back, those friends who had been going and talking to the parents every day since this happened. All of a sudden, they are actually out of town. Nobody can get a hold of them now. And I heard
you beat this girl to death, and then you were just at her
Oh.
parents every single day pretending to be these.
It's so hard to watch.
That's disgusting. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I don't know anything about that.
Oh my God. Oh, it makes my stomach hurt. It's so sad. And I was listening to somebody talk about it today, and somebody was actually putting in the chat saying, "Oh, well, she was no saint." Okay, shut the F up.
I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care if she slept with every one of those girls' boyfriends.
I don't give a shit what she did. That
you don't
was
beat her to death,
right?
And can
Oh,
go
no,
console
somebody
her
said
mother.
that.
That's disgusting.
Oh God,
that's absolutely disgusting. And there is video of it. That's I don't want to see that. I really don't. I can't. I used to think when I was younger, I used to want to go to school for forensic pathology.
Yeah, I know.
I think had I done that, I probably would be a little more okay with it now. But I don't have the stomach for that stuff anymore. I really don't. I think once you have a kid, it changes. I don't have the stomach.
Me
for that
too, Jessie Lynn. I did that. I couldn't. I had to go and watch it, and then I was like, "Oh God, why did I?" It was. Oh, it kills you. It just kills you. She just beaten down. It's so bad, and they it's the same with that kid that fell out of that ride. I had to go and watch that, and I wish I hadn't.
Oh no, I refuse. I won't watch that. That makes me
that one broke my heart so bad too.
It breaks my heart to hear about it.
Oh God.
Broncos. Sorry, Broncos just lost in overtime.
It does. It does change everything, and I don't even like to see things like that, but I just watch it like this, and I'm always sorry for it. And that's what I am. That's why I had to bring that up, because I'm like, oh, it has really been bothering me so bad. Yeah. Oh, that poor guy on that ride. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I hate seeing this happen. But, people just have got to get, they have to take responsibility. They have to go to prison for this shit. And I'm tired. I don't want to hear another one of these things that nobody's going to go to jail over this shit.
Oh, I hear you on that. I absolutely hear you on that. That nothing pisses me off more than that. I really hope those friends beating that girl to death all go to prison. Every single one of them, from the one recording to the one that threw the first blow to the last. They all should.
There's a new recording I heard coming out tonight. Another tape. I don't know.
How many people recorded this poor woman be beat to death? Good God.
Oh, they were proud of themselves.
To me that it's terrifying what.
It's the evil. What's really terrifying.
The disrespect for life that exists out there these days.
There is no regard for life these days. None.
It makes me sick. It makes me terrified. I mean, I have a almost teenage boy.
Right.
He went to his first friends outing without his parents Friday night, and I was sick the entire time.
Oh, did he go?
Yeah, he went to a football game. He went to the local school football game with just his friends, no mom there. So he did FaceTime me from there because I'm his best friend, so he had to fill me out on what was going on at halftime. But it terrifies you. Some of these kids just, I don't know. I don't know what's happened, that they've grown up with this complete disregard for human life. I mean, like you said, even this girl's beat to death, and some of the people that they were interviewing say, well, she was no saint. But she wasn't a murderer.
Who can get that out of their mouth? Who can actually get that out of their mouth? So you are in some way trying to justify this shit.
Right.
Who is a saint? Nobody is.
Right. Yep.
You do not get to just beat people like that. It is so hard to watch that video. If you watch that video and hear someone say she was not a saint, you know what? How dare you?
Yeah,
that is disgusting. And people have got to stop this. We have no regard for life. We have none. We just, like, no big deal.
Right.
No, it is a deal. It is a damn big deal. Can you imagine her parents watching that?
Yeah,
Her parents have had
it's
to watch
horrifying.
that happen to her.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Right. You know, put a bullet in my head. Or no, I don't care. No, you don't get to be. There are judges. You don't get to just make. So somebody ended up coming on panel, the one who wrote that, and said, you know, well, he doesn't really, you know, he just knows because he's from that town or that area, and that she was trying to. So he gave me a new slang term that I never heard of. He said, you know, she was trying to delete her cousin, which I didn't know what that meant, like as a friend on Facebook, or I don't know what that means. But apparently that means you're gone. You're unalived if you're deleted. So what he said was they found out when he was there, while they were all there on vacation, that she was trying to arrange her cousin to be deleted. So they beat her, but they didn't mean to delete her. That's what he said. That's what he said.
I didn't know that gangsters went on vacation. That's all sounds super weird. And
No, this
also
girl
still
was
regardless, beat to death is and recorded.
she's an
That's
accomplished. She's an accomplished woman. She's beautiful. And these are her friends. But how do you? Oh, someone called and said, "Oh, she's trying to have her cousin delete." What kind of retarded shit is any of that?
well, but that's even okay. But even if you think about that slang term, deleted,
right?
That just shows you the complete disregard for human life. If that's the terminology that you're gonna know, it's called murder. You end their life. Don't delete them. It's not a video on Instagram. It's not a misspelling on a Word document. It's a human life. So even that terminology is just gross. It's just gross.
No, it is. It's very right. I know because I kept saying he kept saying, "Well, she tried to have her cousin deleted," and I was like, "What? I don't even. What do you mean deleted? I didn't get it, of course." And then when I heard him say they didn't mean to delete her, I was like, "What the f are we talking about right now? I don't even know what you're saying."
I didn't mean to delete her. I mean, you guys know this isn't a video game, right? You don't have extra lives. You don't get to come back. That's weird.
Oh, face card once. No, it's. I'm so discouraged by the lack of regard for human life these days. I'm very much.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It really is.
She is Bessie Lynn. She's absolutely beautiful. Wait till you. Oh God, Ash, she's so pretty. It's like, oh my God. And how did they get her like that? Oh, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it.
Yeah, I can't. That seems premeditated to me. Go on vacation, you're in another country, especially a country like Mexico.
Right.
I mean, honestly,
If
though,
you can come back home and just say, "Oh, she died from alcohol poisoning," and as if they're the ones to tell what the cause of death is. What the hell is any of this shit?
Right. And I'm sorry,
but Mexico was not calling it a crime now because the FBI had to get involved.
Yeah, because there was videos of it, you morons. But what state are they from? What state did they go back to? I'm curious, you know?
North Carolina.
Does North Carolina have the death penalty? Anybody? Anyone in the chat know that? I mean, I can go look it up, but then I'll disappear for a little bit. It was our first night there. Yeah, just it sounds like that would be
right. They had just.
premeditated.
I need a break. Hold on. Where did she go? Where did she go?
You want another bio break?
Yeah.
Okay, here. You might as well carry on.
Yeah, and you.
Okay, Mr. Snotty here filling in. I don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight, but I can comment on that case. And
Sorry. I'll be right back. I'm looking up the North Carolina thing. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I did hear that case online. I think it was Friday. You know, basically, I don't really follow the true crime cases and the cold cases and that kind of stuff. I'm more of a news junkie, so I listen to the news all day when I'm home in the office. And I heard that case talked about briefly on Friday early in the morning. And that's when they talked about the alcohol poisoning. And I thought, Mexico with friends, nobody else there died of alcohol poisoning. Have you ever? I've heard people say that they've died of, others have died of alcohol poisoning. I mean, I'm not trying to get weird here or anything like that, but I drink a fair bit from time to time. I've never come close to dying from alcohol.
I mean, it's a possibility, Mr. Snotty.
I don't know.
So
I really don't know.
So I left for a little bit because I wanted to look.
Well, the whole thing sounded suspicious at the time, and then later in the day, more, there was like fast forward 6 hours, so now it's in the afternoon. Oh, that's way better, Ash. Sorry. Later in the day, about 6 hours later, there was another play of that story on the news, and there was some dispersions cast on the story of alcohol poisoning at the time. And then I think it was the next day, maybe the Saturday, where it might have been even later on the Friday, but it might have been the Saturday, that there was some talk about a tape coming out and how this woman's spine had been severed. And it's like, my God, it was the most horrific thing I had heard in a fairly long time. And a very sad case, to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's horrific.
It's very horrific, yeah.
And to me, like I said, it sounds like first degree, first of all. That, I mean, you went on vacation to Mexico, you're from North Carolina. I don't imagine that that's a normal vacation spot for you. I mean,
yeah, they just took off and flew back to the United States and left their friend there dead. I mean, what the heck? It's strange.
Where we're at in the Southwest, it's a very common destination for vacations on a regular basis. Super easy to get down there. But that's, if they were, I mean, I don't know, if they were smart, they'd want to go get their asses back there, or they would have wanted to.
Right, or flee to another country. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to hand it back over to the snot box. She's all yours.
Yeah, I am really glad that. Oh, yeah, you are from North Carolina. Yeah, I think the guy today was saying, oh my God, around Greensboro, maybe he said, because it was the guy who said she's not a saint. So, yeah, where is Fig? Yeah, I'm so thankful that they're not going to let that go, because that would just be, I didn't really want to talk about it, but it has been hurting my heart so bad. Oh, wow. So what are you hearing anything special about that case over there, Top Hats? Because this is what the guy said. He really acted like he had, personal knowledge about things, but he was saying like, this is just what I'm hearing around Greensboro. I think that's what he said. I mean, I wouldn't make that up. I don't have any reason to, but yeah, it's. Did you watch the video, Top Hats? Yeah, my understanding, Jesse Lynn, is that the State Department has gotten involved in. Oh, you haven't heard about it? Oh, Top Hats, I'm telling you, it is so hard. I don't watch any news, but I saw the it brought up on Cinema Shogun, and so he said he wouldn't play the video, but I had to go find it, of course, because I have to. And the guy said he thought on Reddit the new video would come out. Oh, your phone died. Yeah, we were enjoying you being up here, sister. Yeah, so apparently they all have they've all shut down their social media accounts, and nobody going to the door, calling them, or you can't get a hold of them. Right. Oh, it is. To me, it's just such a sad thing to see when people can just treat people like that. It's so harsh. And they're laughing and saying, "Why don't you fight back? I can't stand people to act like that." With her name is. See, I keep forgetting. Shanquilla Robinson. She's really, really pretty. There is a channel that plays. Yeah. No, that's how you spell it. So this guy said that there's another video that will actually show. I think this one's going to be worse. Show what the. So you got Mr. Fig's phone. So. Oh, you need a link. He said in this one, you will see how, the end of it. I don't know. I can't think of exactly what he said. Cinema Shogun is covering this pretty well. And who I also watched it on today is, where I heard that guy is on, oh my God, what is her name? The Rabbit Hole News. Let me see. I don't know why I can't remember shit. Oh, there we go.
Hello. Sorry about that, guys. Phone was dying. I plugged it in. I thought it was going to work, and it didn't. So.
Yeah, Cinema Shogun you have, and let me see if I can find Rabbit Hole. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Down the Rabbit Hole News. She's the one that had the guy come on and talk about it, that, said she's not perfect. Yeah, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to research and be on at the same time. It takes a lot of battery. So.
Down the Rabbit Hole News is good. I mean, I don't always agree with her. A lot of times I don't agree with her, but I do think that it's one of those, I don't know what to call it. But Cinema Shogun, I don't always agree with him either. I just finally told him the other day, I think he's just enjoying this AWP stuff a little too much. I mean, I think he's right in all of it. Obviously, I think he's right, but he seems to kind of be enjoying it a lot. The Jared Lasik stuff.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
about it. Really too bad.
It is too bad. But you know what? He is kind of an ass.
But the actions of one admit that all the good that.
No, you're right. You see what Top Hat said?
Yeah, I see that. Getting that goes so about. Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking actually. That's why when I went offline, I was googling it because, just and not that it even necessarily is all that important, but the country of Mexico will not extradite back to the U.S. if the death penalty is on the table. So that's why I was looking it up.
Oh, but okay, but they're not there anymore.
Well, that's why I was saying that. Like, I mean, frankly, it's harder to catch you in Mexico, number one. And number two, they won't extradite if it's on the table. So I was curious, does North Carolina have the death penalty? And they do for first-degree murder. Only for first-degree murder, from what I saw. I could be wrong. It looks like Top Hats lives in the area, so might know more about it than I do. But it looks like that's the case. So, I mean, if they're not answering anyone, they could have taken right back off. But they will not extradite if death penalty is on the table. That I do know. Mexico.
Well, I don't know where they've gone right now, but and there's proof that they killed her.
Absolutely, no, you're right, and again, I would say it's premeditated. I haven't seen the video. I don't know anything about it. From what you've told me, it sounds like that's what they were intending to do. And I think that friend, by speaking out about not being a saint, wanting to delete people,
right?
And well, they weren't wanting to delete her. Kind of sounds like they invited her down there for the purpose of this beatdown that led to her.
He said they heard about this after they got there. I don't know. It was the first night they were there, so I don't.
That I know about premeditated murder. If you're a prosecutor, premeditation is 1 second.
Right. You can premeditate. Right. Yes, you can.
Elaborate planning for weeks upon weeks or certain amounts of days. It just means that you start to perform an action and you realize that action could be performing the action against, and you decide that that's okay with you.
Oh, 100% Top Hat. That's the way I feel. You cannot even believe this. There is still somebody on death row in Arizona that my dad solved the case in the 70s. And
Oh, wow. Who is that? Because we actually tend to execute quickly. So who is that? I'm curious.
Well, he had several appeals. I remember when I was in high school, they actually contacted my dad to say not to leave town or anything. He might have to come back in because he's tried to say that it was he did it because of a flashback from Vietnam War. I just been recently trying to research a lot of my dad's cases, and I saw he's still on death row because his appeals didn't work.
But yeah, a bunch of appeals also will delay that. We tend to do it fairly quickly here, though.
It goes in spurts.
At the same time, though, I have to be honest, as much as that is frustrating, but the amount of times where they have found people that were on death row that were wrongfully convicted.
Right.
Kind of like,
I know.
Quick to pull that trigger, if you will. Pardon the pun. You know, what was it? New Orleans, right? New Orleans is pretty famous for all those wrongful convictions and then quick execution. Right? Well, what's very iconic dad with the daycare or something?
You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I think you're better now. Harry Connick Jr.'s dad was on death row. Oh, look at now. Now you're frozen. Let it go.
Oh, sorry. Was that better?
Maybe.
Everybody did your on.
What?
I said everybody cheered for a bit on Frozen.
No, that's exactly right, Top Hat. No. If you really, I mean, it does. It gets scary when people have wrongfully been convicted. That is makes me nervous as a cat. But we have to start, we have to trust in that if you're convicted. I don't know. But this is why I tell you I want them to use, oh, okay. I think they need to use Jeffrey Epstein's, Sicko Island for these people to just get dropped off over there and fend for yourself because you're not fit for society anymore.
No, oh, sorry. You're right. But I was just looking at Jessie Lynn's comments. I just wanted to correct something if she misunderstood. I hate giving incorrect information. No, Harry Connick Jr.'s dad was a prosecutor. I believe he was actually the attorney, or he might have been the attorney general in Louisiana or the DA in New Orleans. Right, Mom?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
He's very well known for multiple wrongfully convicted cases.
Right.
Actually, it's probably not a part of Harry Connick Jr.'s past that he likes people to know about.
Yeah, you're right about that.
There was a lot of racially motivated wrongful convictions that happened in the New Orleans area under his term or whatever. I can't quite remember what.
A lot of corruption.
A ton of corruption. Yes.
Yes.
And a lot of these guys were executed, and then later turned out DNA evidence exonerated them for those crimes. It was terrible. It's horrible.
No, it is. And you know what happens with these people? They refuse to, just like with, Brendan. They are not, those people, they stick in their heels and they are not going to back the hell down.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit makes me so mad because that Brendan kid needs to be out of there now.
Well, because even if he was somewhat involved, the mental capacity of Brendan is so low that prison is actually not the right place for him in that scenario. Regardless whether he was involved or not, it's not. You basically put a child in prison. That's really his IQ level, his mental capacity is that low.
Right. And that's the scary part because I agree with you, Top Hats. I am 100% there. You know what? Let's just quit wasting everybody's time and money and all this bullshit. I have no patience for that crap. But the problem is when you see these people who are it's corruption 100%. And somebody in that family did that. Somebody there did that. I think it was Brendan's brother, probably. But
I wouldn't say that Stephen Avery didn't do it. Now, was he guilty of what he was originally put in prison for? No,
he wasn't.
But
I'm not saying Stephen Avery didn't either, but Brendan didn't.
Right.
And that is disgusting because those police officers there, the prosecutors, everybody there has dug in their heels and they are not giving up for a second when they've been proven wrong. The cop that found the evidence was not even allowed to be on the site.
Right.
So
and the evidence that they found quite suspect. The DNA evidence in that case is very suspect. It's not even proven science at this point. So I think Jesse's right. As much as it frustrates me that it takes decades sometimes to execute people, at the same time, I would rather not execute anybody than execute the wrong person once.
Right. And I've changed my mind on that because I mean I've always been like, get him on death row and get him out of here, you know. Wow.
Oh, sorry guys. I
What did you do?
My phone against something and it all came crashing down. So sorry. That was
No.
super loud, I'm sure.
The thing is that whenever you see that innocent people have been executed, that is a really big problem. And innocent people sitting in jail for any days or even one day is a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the problem is whenever you see that people have done this shit intentionally.
Yes, especially in
that's really makes you. I mean, because your idea is that if it happens, it's not intentional, and you hate you feel horrible about it. But whenever you see it's literally intentional,
yeah, and
that's
I mean,
some scary shit.
I would like to believe that it's unintentional more often than it is intentional. But at the same time, I feel like that's not even possible because if you're trying to force evidence to fit in a certain situation, that's not an unintentional thing to do.
Right.
You might have good intentions, as in you feel like this person is guilty, but you're intentionally making things work for you. And I think that's where the problem comes in a lot. Cops, I think, for the most part, 99% of the time are good people with good intentions, but they're still people.
Right.
You know, they're fallible. They're not always right. And they can get biased just as much as anybody else can.
And another thing you see very often, I'm sorry to say, but I have listened to some prosecutors, particularly in that situation, that they have dug in their heels. Brendan was supposed to be released, and they filed that paperwork like 30 minutes before. And that guy is like, nope, he's going down with that ship. He is not going to stand for it.
Oh yeah, that's the hill he's gonna die on.
It is, and it pisses me off that he's getting by with it because even a cop can arrest somebody all day long or whatever, but a prosecutor has to be willing to take on a case, and once they do, they are very much not going to let it go.
Well, yeah, because the thing is I remember growing up thinking prosecutors were so great. Like, oh man, I would love to be a prosecutor. You're out there trying to get crime off the streets. But the reality is that a prosecutor is it's an employee of the state. A good portion of prosecutors have other goals in mind, right? They have political aspirations.
Well, let's be honest. If you're a good attorney,
they want to be
a good attorney, you're not going to work for the government.
Right, because a good attorney could go make a lot more money somewhere else.
Right.
But you have other interests in mind that are more personal. So losing cases doesn't help you become district attorney if that's your end career goals.
Right.
And so I'm sure there's a million amazing prosecutors, just like there's a million amazing cops out there. Like there's some of them that are out there to put bad guys.
There's amazing teachers. There's amazing everything. Right. But there are some that are
There's
not.
also those that are more interested in what benefits themselves.
Right.
And I think
a political career or whatnot.
Where prosecutors have absolutely refused to do the right thing. And we're all bewildered. Why have you allowed this to happen? Not just allowed it, but like you have insisted that this happen. And that's where things can get really sticky.
Right. And they're pushing their personal agendas. It becomes so much, it's like a politician. I happen to believe in my heart that everybody runs for office with the right reason, with the right motives. And once, all power corrupts, it just does. And so next thing you know, you start thinking less about certain things and more about, way it's going to make you look, or, mostly about how it's going to make you look.
Yeah.
They want their career to go further. They have, like you said, talk about the personal agendas. They have all these motives, but it all starts getting clouded. And And pretty soon they forget what they ever even started doing this for. You know, where their motives were to begin with.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like I always say with a politician, you did not become a millionaire by making 170,000 a year. So you became a millionaire by
Right.
dicking me over. Period. That I don't give a shit who you are. That's just what happens.
Yeah, I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. That is the way that it is. Yeah. And I do think that happens a lot in these situations. That's why, to me, I don't think you should sit on death row for 30 years, because I think that the process of appeals and the process of the court system should just be faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? You have the right to a speedy trial, right? But what defines speedy? Because some people, it takes years and years and years to go to trial. And a lot of, I mean, the justice system on its own, on its principal facts is fine, but in its application is very, very broken.
No, very true. And you know, I think probably the reason I hate to say the word, but like I love this Murdaugh deal, and I really am gonna I'm gonna watch that trial like a hawk. I'm telling you, because that is where you saw corruption run a damn muck.
Absolutely.
And you know, he literally went way too far. These people got by with so much shit. But he went, because that family has been prosecutors in that state for over 100 years.
Right.
They have run that shit. Absolutely.
Are they going to have cameras in the courtroom for that one? Do you know?
Oh, they better. I'm tired of this no camera shit. No, it is every bit of it's our right to sit in a courtroom. It is. It is absolutely our right. I get the federal ones. You know, I don't really want to see Josh Duggar and his pedal bullshit anyway. Great. I want to watch Murdaugh, and I am not kidding, because those people got by with murdering people for years. And he went too far and had to just go ahead and just kill his wife and son. I mean, he's a psycho.
Yeah. I hope there's
yep,
on TV. If not, I mean, I'm just going to start digging around trying to find the Zoom link to try to sneak my way in there like I belong there.
No, that needs, you know, and the sad thing, you know, I get so carried away with that guy because I'm like, I start taking it to other measures. You know, of course you're a redheaded, freckled faced, ugly piece of shit. You know,
start getting real personal with it.
Right, I do. I get super personal because this guy, you know, I know that they did some. Look what he did to his house keeper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a pile of crap.
That just gets crazier and crazier the longer that you hear. Like, it's like, what? And then you defrauded her family,
right?
Like,
oh my God! Sued for those kids and stole it. What a shit ass! And did you hear the 911 call? That wife is like, I think she fell down or something, or tripped over the. They didn't give two shits about anybody.
No,
they didn't care about no one.
Well, you know, she should have known then. She was not above being a part on that. Hey,
Jesse, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, make a press pass. I will have a press pass one day. I'm going to get one.
I'm telling you, I got to figure it out. I really do. I mean, I have a job, but
I bet you could just apply for it.
Probably. I mean, honestly, I could probably just create like I'm Jackie Snotty News Network. I mean, look at those people that got into the fucking White House. Excuse my language, but like they got in there and they snuck in. They were party crashers at the White House. You can party crash the White House. I could media crash a courthouse.
Okay, well,
I have a full-time job and all, but I think I could probably figure it out. I work for my father-in-law, so if I told him I had to go on location, he probably would be fine with it.
Well, I mean, look at the guy that was doing the sign language at Nelson Mandela's funeral service with every single solitary
nonsense. It wasn't real. Yeah,
it wasn't real.
Not just that one too. There was another one. It was state one. I don't remember what state it was, but there was like a state press conference with a sign language interpreter, and they were just doing stuff, and it was it was nonsense. They just kind of slid their way in there. So I feel like security at these places is not as
well at Nelson Mandela's.
As we
you
would
know,
hope.
you had every single head of state in the whole world.
Right.
There.
That's what I mean. It's not, I used to say this all the time. Like I used to work in restaurants, which obviously you know this, Jackie, but I used to work in restaurants and I was like a district manager. And sometimes I would have to go investigate like a theft or something or a food cost issue, whatever. And so I would just walk into to my restaurants, and it might be like a new kid working that I have never met. He has no idea who I am, never seen my face. But I was wearing nice clothing, and I just walked in with confidence, right straight into the back, got on the computer, opened the safe, started doing things. Never once was questioned. Not even a hello, can I help you? Nothing. And this happened enough times that I was like, I'm pretty sure that if you're just well dressed and you just confidently walk into literally anywhere, nobody will ask you what you're doing there. No one. And it wasn't just high school kids. It was like full-grown adults that would say no word. Not a word. And I'd have to finally be like, by the way, I'm your boss's boss. And they'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then they'd be like, I wondered what you were doing here. But they weren't going to ask. So you can just do stuff.
Right. If you do that, yeah.
Well, it looks like Jessie Lynn would have called me out, but I'm just saying, if you are dressed nice, even kind of nice, not that, I don't buy expensive clothes.
I know, but you know what? You don't. No, so a lot of times, if you just act like you know what you're doing, people just think you do.
Mm-hmm.
What do I tell you all the time? My dad always said, just start running. Everybody will start, they'll start running to, they think they need to.
Yeah. So I get there, like maybe a clipboard, a lanyard, maybe with some, I mean, you could just have one of those little pocket things on it. Doesn't need to say, I could just borrow my son's from church camp, probably. I could have my phone out like this, like I'm talking, you know, to say things.
I'm busy. Don't bother me. So she turned it off, I think, because she was trying to. Yeah, Jessie Lynn's not going to put up with it.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, I hit the wrong button, but yeah, Jessie Lynn's all over it. She's calling me out, so you better not be there.
But you are different.
I feel like if you just had your phone out, you know, like, and here I am, we're in front of the courthouse, we are live, and they'd be like, oh, they must be somebody. And they'll just let you in. You just have to act like you belong there. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to let you in.
Yeah, you don't have to prove to anybody that it's someone's birthday. You can just go ahead and. Right.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
It's a very similar concept. There are no real rules in society, just ones you think exist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are going to do that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be cameras in there. You're right, because there already has been.
Yeah,
and
James from court.
And people need that ginger to go down.
Right. It's in South. Is it in South Carolina?
Yes, it is South Carolina. Top Hats is close. He might have to take his GoPro over there.
Yeah, Top Hat's from court. That's good. What about college? No cameras.
What now? You're breaking up again.
Are there going to be cameras at the Daybell Vallow case? Do we know that?
Well, they said there weren't going to be, and then they canceled.
Oh,
who's there?
Sorry, the boy just got here. Give me a minute.
Oh. Hello, my angel.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
Did you have fun Friday night?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you went.
Yeah, but it was a blowout anyways. It was a blowout. Yep. Whoop, whoop. Go Knights.
Awesome. I miss you already. Is he going to be here Thursday? Yeah, she's turning us off. You're not monetized either.
Sorry, I'm talking to him about a lot of things. Are you gonna see him? Yeah, you're gonna see. Oh wait, you might not actually. No, you won't see him on Thanksgiving. Sorry, I think he's with Dad on Thanksgiving this year. No.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
Okay, never mind. He said he's gonna be with me, so you'll see him Thursday.
oh, awesome. I'm very happy. Oh, gosh. Well, enjoy that with your daughter, Jesse, and we'll see you next time. For sure.
Sorry, had to
You're more
talk to
behind
the
the
baby.
scenes. Yes.
I hear you, Top Hats. I control myself. So.
Well, you know I don't control my mouth. I can't.
Oh yeah, and enjoy the awards, Jesse. I haven't watched award shows in forever, but those are fun. So enjoy that. Oh, Pink. Oh, I love Pink. Pink is awesome.
Oh, wow. I like her too.
Yeah, Pink is great. But yeah, no, bye, Jesse. It was good to talk to you. Yeah, Top Hats. I don't come on a lot because I do have quite the mouth as well. But I try to control myself when I get on Jackie Snotty's lives. I'm not trying to, ruin her chances of ever being able to monetize this channel. Because it would be helpful. You could send people over to court cases, and you could be going places and upgrading
I'm
equipment.
definitely. I already know if Quentin's goes to trial, I'm going to go 100%. I'm going there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have to go there. I don't. They said they weren't going to. So what happened is they said there would not be cameras in the courtroom for Daybell, and then they said, but then she tried to get it split up because they're being tried together. He doesn't want it together. He wants to be on his own, but they won't. They said no, they're not doing that. So I don't know about cameras now because it was supposed to be in January and now that's off. I don't know when it's going to be.
Okay. I feel like his attorneys, his defense attorneys, for better, whether it's true or not, feel like they can pin the murders on just her, not him. That's probably why they asked for that.
Right.
But prosecution didn't
but
go
those
for
kids
it
were in
because
his,
they clearly believe they can get him for both. So
those kids were in his yard, so let's not even go there.
Right. And
yeah,
his
I
wife
feel
with the attempted murder, that whole thing is nuts. If it's not on television either, I can go. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, Fred and I already said that I was going to go to that in January, and then they canceled it. That's why I said for sure I wanted to go to Savannah, and I did. But I'm with you, Todd. I really do try to behave myself, but sometimes I just can't. I can't. I get very frustrated with this crap, and some of these criminals and these things that they do, I can't even handle it. I just don't. And I feel bad. The other night I felt bad because I went off about that damn Brooks guy. I just totally lost my temper on that. And I felt kind of bad that I did that, but God, that guy makes me so mad.
Oh, the Christmas parade guy or the...
Yes. He was trying to insist. I probably said this already, but it just infuriates me. There was one little girl that she didn't get hit by a car, and everybody ran for cover and this and that. And, she didn't get hit, thank God. And so the next morning she couldn't move though. and they didn't know why. They said took her to the doctor, and they said her spine was like, she had the worst case of whiplash that they'd ever seen. They didn't get, and nobody understood why. So during the trial, they were playing videos, and they finally saw why. A person was thrown into her. And he was trying to say, don't call her a victim. She's not. He was such an ass about it.
Yeah, that's where the defend yourself thing just pisses me off so much. What was that trial? You know this. I was a kid when the trial happened, but they did the SNL sketches of the guy defending himself.
Ferguson.
Yeah, and he was like, can you point to the guy that shot at you and
duck? Yeah.
Get under the table and stuff.
Yes.
That's what that reminded me of.
He made a mockery of it. Yeah. That was the guy that shot those people in the subway car.
Yeah, the subway, yeah.
And he was there trying to cross-examine people that were, quadriplegics now, and their parents were killed, and he's all being smart-ass with them.
Right.
You did this.
So Top Hat's brought up a good point, though, about the trying to get a mistrial, I would guess, under the grounds of representation, right?
This is all horseshit.
But are you allowed to do that if you made the choice to represent yourself?
He was given every opportunity to understand the risk of it.
Yeah, I'm curious if, as long as you have made that decision and you were it's proven that you were given all of the good information and the best information, I wonder if you can do that. I would guess not. Otherwise, that would be something a lot of people would try. But I mean, it's probably a good try, I guess. But,
and this judge was so patient with him. I mean, I was getting tired of, during the sentencing, he even said, I'm not even sure I understand the charges. Okay, they're not charges anymore, you idiot. You've been convicted.
Well, if you don't understand the charges, you didn't need to represent yourself in the first place, you liar, McLiar said. Nope, he's just said, yeah, okay, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, it's a good try, Top, but
they had to remove him. So he's in another room on video, and he's holding up a paper saying he objects. No, that time has come and gone.
You don't get to object during impact statements. That's not how it works.
Oh.
But you can't claim inadequate representation if you refused adequate representation. Because I'm pretty sure in that case where you're going to represent yourself, you have a lot of documents to sign.
Right.
That you absolutely refused actual lawyers to be involved in this. Inadequate representation is, an actual licensed attorney.
Right.
And even in those cases, I have seen where it is blatant inadequate representation, and they don't even get a trial, or the appeal doesn't go through because they'll say, "Oh, well, that wouldn't have mattered," which is kind of funny when a judge says, "Well, that wouldn't have mattered to the jury." How the hell do you know? I mean, you weren't.
Yeah, because I would love to get in the head of a jury sometime, because I mean, this is my biggest thing. When they say a jury of my peers, we need to be very clear about that. Because I see jurors that I'm not sure that I would call them my peers.
Yeah, well, didn't I see that video that time? It was some guy, like a TikTok video or something, where he was like, that should be a job. I don't believe responsible. I am not educated enough to decide whether or not. And I don't want my fate to be decided by a shift manager from Jack in the Box.
Shift manager.
I was about to piss myself watching that. That was so funny. It does make sense, because when you really think about it, though, I mean, the technicalities that some people can get, if you were a part of the law, let's say, you would see those technicalities. And I think a lot of people get convicted on technicalities. A lot of people get off on technicalities, and there are issues with that. But if you're just a lay person and you're sitting on a jury and you're hearing the evidence, and if you hear all of that and you're like, meh, I'm not 100% sure. then the prosecution didn't do their damn job. It's their
Yeah, but
to
you
make
know,
the manager at Jack in the Box believe that you did it. And if they're not good enough to make the shift manager at Jack in the Box believe that you did it, then they probably don't have enough evidence. Because the shift manager at Jack in the Box doesn't know shit about shit.
well, he knows how to make a jumbo jack, and I'm pretty impressed with that personally. But
maybe
um,
haven't got enough drive-through orders incorrect for you, but that, like if the prosecution has not done a good enough job to convince a layperson, then they haven't done a good enough job. I mean,
no, you're absolutely, that's the thing. And you know what? And this is what I feel kind of guilty about, because I always think that, you know, I've seen some juries that are just beyond, it was all there. We all watched it, and I don't know where they were at. But I also think, like you're saying, Top Hats, I am so guilty of making sure that I don't have to be in a jury. I get out of them.
You know what?
So
that didn't work.
Anybody with any, if you have enough sense, you won't have to be in one.
But that didn't work for me, though. I agree with you, Top Hats. That's the thing. And Mr. Snotty was actually almost on a serial killer jury, and he got himself out of it. Which, by the way, I will never thank you for that, Mr. Snotty, because that is rude.
I would love to have been on that one.
But I went through 2 days of jury selection, 2 entire days. Like, I got called from my jury pool very early in the morning, one of the very first juries that was called for the pool. 2 full days before I was dismissed, and I had answered truthfully. But all my truthful answers should have dismissed me from a jury right away. So if anything, I feel like the prosecution was trying to keep me there because of my connection to law enforcement and things like that. When I was very young, I think, Mom, you remember I called. I was probably 19.
Because you got lost. You got lost in Phoenix. Yeah. It was kind of a traumatic situation.
It was.
Yeah.
Prosecution tried to keep me because of my connection to law enforcement, but it was 48 hours basically. They kept me no matter what. I was not just automatically dismissed. I was very close. I think there were probably about 30 of us left when I was finally dismissed, and it was a murder trial, but I think a manslaughter situation. So they were going to pull their regular 12 and then 5 or 6 alternates or something like that. So, I mean, I was pretty close to the end there.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it didn't work. It did not work. Normal things did not work.
I've always gotten out of it. But yeah, Mr. Snotty actually had to go. He was supposed to be on a serial killer trial, or he was on there.
A serial shooter, yeah. He didn't kill that many people, but yeah, it was a serial shooter. They actually made a documentary about that shooter.
Yeah.
Yes, Top Hats. I think that's what it was. Even though I did say I believe that if the police arrest you, they have good reason to arrest you. But yeah, I'll never forgive Mr. Snotty from backing out of that one. I would have loved some insight and some inside knowledge of what happened.
I don't know how many dismissals I think it depends on the case. Probably like some of the higher profile ones, I feel like they have a lot that goes on. And also I think maybe it depends on how much money your defense wants to pay on that. Because once you get into court, what is typically maybe $300-500 an hour becomes like $1,500 an hour.
Yeah,
for an attorney.
But I think what Top Hats is saying is there's a certain set number that each attorney is allowed to just dismiss without prejudice of any kind. So once they start narrowing it down, they'll pull out all the numbers that each side wants out, and then they get a chance to veto one another. So if both of them agree juror 12 is out, they're out. It doesn't count. But if
that doesn't count. Okay.
If some type of discrepancy, they both want juror number 3 or only one of them wants them and the other one doesn't, then there's a certain number of like veto power.
I see what you're saying.
And
Okay.
there's a specific number for that. I don't know if it's different state to state, jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but there is a specific number for specific veto in all cases, regardless of, you know, high profile or not. So he is right about that specific number.
Probably just high profile is what I know about.
And if you waste all of your vetoes pretty early on, which is not a good strategy, then the defense can now have full reign on whatever they want to do without using a veto.
Yeah, because maybe you look and you want the demographics to be different, however they answer a question doesn't even matter. Maybe you just don't want, you know, you're looking for more women in this one or more men or what have you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So when
you
vote or whatever, you don't want to waste the veto, you don't have to. So yeah, Mr. Snotty just brought it up. It was the I-10 shooter. Was it?
No,
it
wasn't the I-10. No, it wasn't. It was the baseline. It was a baseline shooter.
Which Fred is Mr. Snotty is correct. I'm pretty sure the baseline shooter and the I-10 shooter were the same person.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. If you want to get Rosendo if you ever want to dive into that case, the I-10 shooter, who they basically they still have a suspect for that.
Right.
Rosendo guy, because I don't actually know anyone who knows more about either of those cases than him, because he was all over that. He is. If you ever want to dive into that one, you need Mr. Fig.
I remember that.
That's
big on that one.
Not a true crime guy, but he was all over that one.
Well, he was a true crime guy for a little bit with the
only
crackheads over in Maricopa, and
only certain ones. He's very specific.
Yeah. They didn't just shoot a horse. They actually had like I don't know. He shot like 10 people, but he also shot like 100 and some animals. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, there was a lot of animal abuse in that one. Yeah, that was crazy. I never had a chance to be on a serial killer trial, and I would have done that if I had known. But really, I never even get to that stage. I just answer questions on the paper to get me out of it.
Sorry, Rosendo just reminded me that it's not the baseline shooter, it's the Maryville killer, who is also the I-10 shooter, according to him.
Oh, okay.
Same guy.
Because the baseline killer is the one that Fred was on.
Baseline shooter is what he's called because he didn't kill a lot of people. Oh, here he comes.
I was right about the I-10 freeway shooter. 7 months before they let him go. Day one, I said he wasn't the shooter, and everyone thought I was crazy. And 7 months later, they had no information. They had to let him go. It was a joke.
Yeah, you were right about that. You were.
And he talked about the ballistics and where the guns came from and the pawn shops where they found the gun. He knows all of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's very serious about it. So sorry to the rest of your fans who were not prepared for that. He has 2 cases on the whole planet that he's invested in. And it's that one and the couple that was murdered and buried in Apache Junction. Who left their purse to do errands. It
was Maricopa. But okay, good night, Top Hats. I'm so glad you were here. I thought maybe you weren't here for a while.
It sounds like your whole thing's maybe coming to an end.
Yeah. I think so. I think we're all gonna it's been 3.5 hours. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long while. So
yeah.
I'm sure you probably don't have a lot I can't see how many people are on, so.
Oh. Yeah, everybody push a like button if you would, all 4 of you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get out of here. I gotta use the restroom and I got stuff I gotta do. So
Okay, well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
And tomorrow night, I think we'll be here.
good night.
Hopefully with some news. Good night. Bye, everyone. Yes, please do hit the like button.